here working on the internet outside.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Hey man, good.
Oh, y'all can hear me right now?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, you hot?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Hey man, how was PC weekend, bro? I'm mad I missed it.
Super dope.
Oh! Don't say that. Hold on. Don't say that. These niggas act like Ticket the only one that missed it. Oh, they act like. Hold on, Damo. They act like Ticket the only one that missed it. I'm the only one catching heat in these streets. I'm glad you said that, dog. I'm the only one catching strays in these streets.
I mean,
Damo, I'm catching all kinds of drive-by. You know what I'm saying? They ain't say nothing about Fluent. They ain't say nothing about you. I ain't even want to throw everybody else under the bus, man. I'm the one taking all the heat. I'm glad you said something, dog. You know what I'm saying, homie? Because I feel kind of lonely out here taking all those bullets like that, dog.
I feel kind of lonely.
Okay, so with that being said, Damo, I'm gonna point the 9 back at Ticket. Okay, and this is why I'm gonna point the 9 back at Ticket. Number one, Tone, his wife's birthday was PC weekend. Okay, so we'll start there. That's number one. Number two, Damo just got on the crew, right? So he basically Mark Aguirre. He just got traded mid-season. It's not like Damo been down since the beginning. He just got. Number three, the big fella was calling you out. That's why they was on your case about this. And I know you couldn't make it. And I understood why you couldn't make it.
Bro, let me ask you a question.
I know it's money in these streets.
Let me ask you a question, though. Let me ask you a serious question. Y'all used to play pickup at your school, wherever it was during the summertime, right? If a scrub wanted to play with you, did you pay him any attention?
No, I didn't.
All right, then. Thank you, man. Come on, bro. Like I said, that dude got to make 5 layups in a row. That man got to make 5 layups in a row for me to go play him against somebody, bro. I got to see him make 5 layups. Bro. You can't be missing layups against J-Rob talking about something. Man, no, I don't want to hear that, bro. I don't want to hear that. Everybody hyping stuff up, bro. It's not no hype, bro. Right. Bro, it ain't. Y'all not finna put me against an ant on the basketball court because I'm gonna smash it. It's not gonna be funny, bro. And then I'm gonna look at you, Chilltown. I'm gonna look at Ron. I'm gonna look at you, and I'm gonna look at Ron. I'm gonna see what y'all did because y'all kept hyping this shit up, man. And I'm telling y'all, bro, it's not gonna be pretty, man. Y'all stop doing that stuff, man. I like Bob. Bob is a good dude.
He's a good dude.
On the basketball court, he's trash.
And I heard this before. All right. So today, as of today, Ticket. So as of today, this is what I'm saying.
Ron cut the full tape, right?
This is what I'm talking about, Ticket. Because I heard this.
Bob was killing. Hold on.
You ain't the only one who said this before.
If Bob was killing, Ron would have dropped the full tape. Cut it out, man.
I ain't talking about that. Ticket. This is what I'm talking about. This is all I'm talking about.
Y'all embarrassing yourselves because y'all. That's like y'all go play low one-on-one. Come on,
no. Here's why, Ticket. Here's why. This is what I'm saying. I heard this tone before, so I'm gonna chill out. All right, I'm gonna chill out on this. I ain't gonna say another word about it because I heard this tone before. That whole you gonna get this dude beat up. I'm gonna leave this alone. You say it, I'm gonna leave it alone.
But you know the rules.
Okay, that's why I ain't gonna say another word about it.
You have played basketball in a different. You have played in a different setting, bro.
I'm not gonna say. That's why I ain't gonna say another word.
Can't no bum walk up to no NBA player and say, "Hey, man." Or can't no bum walk up to no overseas pro player and say, "Hey, man, let's play one-on-one." Man, I'm not playing you, man. The only type of people I really want to play against is other pros. So if it's Shaq, if it's Dale, somebody like that, okay, let's play. Now we talking. If it's Shaq, nigga, stop whatever the pressures is. He playing in EuroLeague. If it's Dale, let's go. Bob, nigga out here with a Bill Cartwright jump shot, and Ron don't want to put up the full video. Man, stop playing with me, man. Come on, man. They out here missing layups against J-Rob. Y'all hyping this man up, talking about I'm ducking somebody, man. Man, y'all, and ain't none of y'all hold him accountable for missing those layups against that midget, man. Stop playing with me, man. And Ron, play the full tape. Stop sparing him, Ron. Stop sparing him. Play the full tape so the people can see the truth, man. Y'all stop holding him. Y'all got all that footage from PC Weekend, ain't released none of it, man. Y'all sad.
I ain't gonna say another Ticket. I ain't gonna say another word about it. I won't. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Y'all look like y'all have fun, man. Y'all look like y'all was having a good time.
It was super dope.
It was a vibe for real.
It was super dope. Hey,
Damo, if I wasn't at DreamCon, I would have went. I would have went if I didn't go to DreamCon.
I was just about to say, Damo, what's up with that fade, yo? You looking clean it in the kitchen sink with that, yo. It's really good right now, my man. I don't want to get too close. I want to cut my hand because that thing is sharp as the top right there.
I had to clean up to go down there and meet everybody, man. I had to get cleaned up a little bit.
That's what's up. That's definitely what's up.
Hey, how was DreamCon, bro?
Yeah. DreamCon was cool. It was fun meeting the community. I got recognized for being on PC way more than I thought at like a a little mini anime convention. That was surprising. The amount of Damo, hey man, I love you. Stop letting Ticket talk to you like that. That I got. I'm like,
I love you. I love
the
you.
amount of yo Damo, let me get this picture. Listen, man. Yo, let me know if Tiki keep talking to you like that. I'm gonna go ahead and say something to him. I'm like, nigga, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're not.
You're not. You're not.
You think I let him do this? That's just what he do.
Hey, bro, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something.
I'm not gonna say nothing. If you see him in the street, you're not gonna say a word to him. You talk tough in front of this computer. If you saw this dude in the street, you wouldn't say a word to him. Not one.
I'm new around here. When I got here and I seen, he talks like this to everybody, I got in line. I don't know why y'all think I'm about to come in here and just shake up everything. Like, no, that's how Ticket talk to people.
You gotta stand your
ground. Man, listen.
That's a fact.
Hold on. It ain't just with y'all. It ain't just with y'all. Y'all can ask any nigga. And to the nigga who keeps saying, Ticket played against a plumber. Nigga, in China, you ain't playing nothing against but NBA niggas. In Korea, you ain't playing nothing against NBA niggas. Y'all don't know nothing about pro basketball, bro. All them niggas out there making $1 million, nigga. You know how much money I was making out that motherfucking nigga? I'm filthy rich, and you whole ass niggas don't even know it. But all being blessed from God. And you niggas just hating on me. But if you look at all the niggas I played against, all these niggas played in the league. Andre Brown, Smush Parker, all them niggas that I played against played in the league, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? So cut this capping ass shit out. All these niggas that I played against, that played in the league, I met them niggas. Nigga, you even got Boogie Cousins playing in Puerto Rico now. But niggas will laugh and say, hey, man, Chicken was playing in Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Dominican Republic. Nigga, all these niggas out here playing. You know why, nigga? Because them niggas is paying, you dumbass niggas.
Phil Jackson coached in Puerto Rico. What the hell? I mean, like, why are we talking like Puerto Rico is whack? Puerto Rico is not whack. That is not a whack league. No, it is not.
Y'all was dropping them Dylan Brooks China jokes and all of that. Man, y'all must not know that Chinese league is
J.R. Smith was over there. J.R. Smith was over there. I mean, this is J.R. Smith is a starting two guard on a championship team.
Facts.
Okay, J.R. Smith was not just a player in the NBA. He's a starting two guard on a championship team. He played in China, right? Michael Beasley played in China. So that's not a bullshit league. It wasn't. It is not a bullshit league. No, it is not.
Dwight just came from Taiwan. Dwight just came from Taiwan, making damn near $1 million something, like $1.5 million over there. What is these niggas talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, y'all need to learn, man. Y'all need to cut this cap and shit out, bro. Y'all niggas really don't know.
Hey, but the ones that know. I mean, you got to understand the top college players, like the top college players. If you don't go to the NBA, you go straight to play over there. The players that are fringe NBA players, they go play over there. So it's like the next best crop of players all go play in the big leagues over there. So you
Stephon Marbury got a statue in China.
Come on.
Stephon Marbury, a top 5 pick in the draft. He got a statue in China. I mean, again, I could talk about overseas. Everybody that play in the EuroLeague can't play in the NBA, and everybody that play in the NBA can't play in the EuroLeague because it's a different kind of game. I want to make sure we play on that right now.
Do they still have those rules in place in like other leagues where it's like a certain amount of American players, a certain amount of foreign players to them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure
yeah. Like when I played in Ireland, that's how it was. Yeah. Yeah. When I played in Ireland, it was 2. It was 2 Americans. That was it.
Yeah, I don't know. Y'all be tripping, man, because I'm telling you, overseas basketball is it. I've been over there and watched multiple games, played in games, all of that. But I'm like, it's dudes over there right now that can come play in the NBA. Easy. No ifs, ands, or buts. No ifs, ands, or buts. Your player's choice very own Shaq can come play in the NBA. Shane Larkin can come play in the NBA. As a matter of fact, the dude who Shaq was playing with, the EuroLeague MVP, he just signed a contract with the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's nice. He can shoot. He can shoot. Really
Buddy
good.
nice. They said, "Hey man, Streets is saying the Kings got a good pickup, and Buddy about to come over here and put people on notice. Now I gotta see it.
He's a good shooter. He's a knockdown shooter over there.
I'm glad Bob ain't here because I ain't want to give the Kings no praise.
Duppy said the Puerto Rico League is whack. Where he ever played at? Duppy, your name is
Puerto Rico.
Your
name is
Duppy, nigga.
Not in Puerto Rico. I'll bet you that. I mean, there's really good Puerto Rican
players. Your name should be Doodoo.
Yeah, there's plenty of. I mean,
hold on. Not even that. You had Puerto Rican players that played in the league. Carlos Arroyo, he played for the Miami Heat. You had goddamn, then you had all those dudes that's playing in the Puerto Rico League. RP to the great one, Robert Tractor Trailer. He was playing in Puerto Rico. He's playing with my boy Terrence Shannon, whose son is at Illinois right now. And he's going to draft. He's going to be a lottery pick in the draft this coming up season.
Jose Alvarado that's in New Orleans.
Yeah, that was my teammate in Korea. Terrence Shannon was the #1 overall pick. These niggas is clowns, bro.
Hold on, take it.
That's why, hey, you know what Max
prove nothing to nobody in the chat, man. All you gotta do is ask for the max prep stats, bro. That's all you gotta do. Ask for that max prep.
Oh, not the stats.
Oh yeah, ask for
right.
That's all you gotta do.
Hey, Damo, I'm gonna tell you the craziest story though. I was in Venezuela, right? And we get ready to get warm-ups for the game. And they had signed a new player. I look across the court. You know who that new player was? Now, this is almost about 10 years ago. You know who that new player was? Delonte West. I walk up to D West. I'm looking at him like, this nigga low as mug. I'm like, damn, this nigga low. In person, he low as hell. I'm like, yo, what's up, dog? He said, what's up? He was cool as hell. He wasn't like everybody put him out to be. He was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I met him in Cleveland with Shaq. Call him Red. Yeah.
All right, fellas. Well, it's good to be here. It's good to have another episode of the panel. We might as well go ahead and get into it. So it's a couple things in the news and whatnot, and I want to address everything. I want to get to everything. This is the place where you come and it's no filter. We give it to you raw, straight, and uncut. The first thing I want to talk about is, I guess our competitors, if you will, ESPN, and they firing and hiring new people. Have you guys heard about that?
Yeah. You losing money. They had to let go of a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. So Van Gundy and Mark Jackson both got, I guess, released, and they're supposedly signing Doc Rivers. How y'all feel about that?
I don't know what Doc Rivers is going to be as a commentator. I don't think commentary of the NBA has not been great to me overall in general. I just hope he doesn't make it worse, but Mike Breen is still there, so that's a good thing at the very least.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
They gotta put a schedule out, because whatever game he's commentating, I ain't trying to hear it. I ain't gonna hold you.
Hold on. Well, Damo, Doc used to do commentary, and he wasn't bad. He was good. The problem is
he was good.
The problem is the truth came out last night. You guys who don't know, the reason why ESPN is firing everybody and they're moving everything around, they're lying to you guys. ESPN has always called themselves the worldwide leader. For the first time yesterday, FS1 has overtaken ESPN.
I saw that post.
Leader. Yeah. And that is the reason why ESPN is in full panic mode, because they've always called themselves the worldwide leader, and now they're not, because Fox Sports 1 has just taken over them in the cable network subscriptions and everything for the first time ever. So they're in a scramble. They're doing dumb stuff like you said. Man, Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, they gave great commentary. That was a great team they had.
That was my favorite too. I used to love listening to them too.
Yeah, that was absolutely stupid. Like, but our great commentary teams, the Marv Alberts of the world. What's the other guy's name? Who was with Marv Albert? Who came after Marv Albert? I can't remember his name. But I used to remember Marv Albert on NBA on NBC, and I think they should go back to that. Like, I heard they talking about it, but they should go back to NBA on NBC.
Bill Walton,
right?
Yeah, they were good.
I used to love that, bro. I used to love those. They need to go back to that, where when the games came on Sunday, a lot of people couldn't wait to watch those games on NBA on NBC. Yeah. The way they had the triple headers every week and stuff like that. I think they need to go back to that. But ESPN, man, they're in a downfall. The reason why they're in a down spiral is because people like us can come on here and do what they do better and entertain people, and now we steal their audience.
One of the biggest problems that they are having is exactly that. Years ago, ESPN was essentially the newspaper in your town, and whatever the newspaper wrote, that's all you had to go off of. Well, that's not going on today, because we live in an information age, and everybody has access to that information, which is why we up here. So now the fact that we up here, and in addition to ESPN, in addition to Fox Sports, in addition to all these other networks bringing out information, we got it too, and we're just delivering it. We're just delivering it in a better way, which is why the audience is now listening to us more, and they're detracting from people like ESPN, and that's a problem for those guys. Because you can't just slap a pretty face on television and put a cue card up and it works. Eventually, somebody gonna see that and go, "This is nonsense right here. This dude don't know what he's talking about, or she doesn't know what she's talking about." So no, that's not gonna work.
In an era where like everything is easily accessible, people can go on their phones on the free app on YouTube and tap in and see us talk about basketball. Like people nowadays are more sophisticated about how to consume basketball content, and a lot of times on those shows, they don't really dive into the real analysis of the game anyway. So
not only that, Gifted, and to add to your point, not just dive into the analysis of the game. You know, you could say somebody isn't good, and you could tell us why that person isn't very good. You could tell us why this action isn't working. You could tell us why this person isn't rebounding. Maybe he's not as athletic. And these people, they won't do that. They'll stop short because that's not what the people want to hear. Actually, it is. They do want to hear that. They have
people that they pay watch the games for them, and they give them like a huge breakdown of what happened in the games, and they kind of read off of that. Like they're being worked so much, they don't actually have the time to like fully watch basketball anymore. It's just a job. And I get that, right? Like there is a thing there, but overall, as we keep going to 2024, 25, and 26, technology continues to take over and it becomes way easier. Why would I pay for cable if I can go on YouTube and get what I want there? It's just easier for people now too.
Well, plus, if I'm watching games for you, I'm giving you my assessment. That's not your assessment.
Not yours. Facts.
I'm telling you what I think of the game. And now what you're doing is you regurgitating that. Now, when somebody runs up on you on the street, somebody in the studio talks to you, and they want to hear why you felt like that. Well, you can't really defend it because it's not your logic. It's my logic. And that's where the problem comes in. Yeah.
I have an article here. It says, as of the last totals, ESPN is in nearly 71.3 to 1 million homes, while FS1 is available in 71.375. It's the first time in a decade where FS1 has passed up ESPN. So that is true.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What do you guys think it is for FS1 though? You think it's Skip and Shannon show? What do you?
I think it's just a decline. I think one is just the consistency of the shows they had over on FS1 plus the fact that ESPN has been declining for, and I feel like it might be a reach to say a decade, but at least half a decade.
Yeah, but it do feel like that. It
feels like it's been that long, but it's been a clear decline in the service that you're getting from ESPN on an everyday basis all around. Like, it's just not what it used to be. So when it comes to commentating, when it comes to analysts, when it comes to just the regular shows, it's just not what people are sick of watching Kendrick Perkins go on, have these asinine takes, but then if you press them in the Twitter space, if you press them about it out in person, it's, oh, man, I was just on TV. The amount of times I've been in a Twitter space with these guys that are on ESPN, they just go, hey, man, I'm on TV. I got producers. It is what it is. That stuff sucks, bro. Like, I promise you, when Shannon Sharp says something and someone presses him, Shannon Sharp is at the Laker game, standing up with a drink in his hand,
saying the exactly same what he said.
Thing. Yeah. Saying is, Colin Cowherd, for whatever you feel about Colin Cowherd, however you feel about him, if he has a take, if you see him on a Tuesday, that is Colin Cowherd's take. That is not Nick Wright is going to argue Nick Wright's take 24/7. They're not arguing takes that just, oh, the producers made me say it, I need to say it for ratings. No, that's their takes. And over time, FS1 proved that they just have not more reliable analysts, in my opinion, but
more authentic.
Better, more authentic. Yeah, more authentic, more real. They're genuine. So when you're hearing them talk about ball, just like with us, when they hear us talk about ball, it's genuine. It's what we genuinely feel. We're not making nothing up. We're not doing it just because we're on camera. It is what it is. When you have that kind of effect, it's just whack. Stephen A. Smith is the only authentic person it feels that is on ESPN right now. and it's hard to feel like Stephen A. might not be that authentic no more, for real.
Yeah.
I think to add on, though, I would say that when you think of both, shows, right? First Take is known for Stephen A. It used to be Stephen A. got only pressed and challenged by Max. Once Max left the show, it's basically him and like a whole bunch of other people. Like, they haven't expanded the brand beyond like those types of names. Right. I think there's more people and more shows that people can identify for FS1. Me personally, I don't watch either show anymore, but there has been a decline rapidly as they continue on and on and on, especially in like overall dialogue. Now it's just a bunch of hot takes, yells, clips, but the true dissection of debate where I have a point, you have a point. To me, that essence in First Take has been really lacking ever since Max stepped down. I would say.
Well, I don't think that's just something that you would say. It's fact, and I want to make sure you understand why. And the reason why is because First Take, that's Stephen A's show. That show was created around Stephen A. Yep. So essentially, you're a guest. And what Max is doing when Stephen A, when he comes on, he's roasting Stephen A. Well, wait a minute, you're gonna come into my house and destroy my takes? That's not what this show is about. I'm the star of the show. And so a lot of times when that happened, the ESPN brass was thinking, well, wait a minute, this is not good for the show because it's wrecking Stephen A's credibility when Max is whatever he's talking about. Whatever Stephen A is talking about, whatever Stephen A is talking about, Max is just ripping it to shreds. And you're like, damn, well, wait a minute. Does Stephen A know what he's talking about? Because clearly this guy doesn't think so. It should be. The difference though is this show is created for that. That show wasn't created for that. That show was created around a star where this essentially, I'm the star. Damo's the co-star. Gifted is the co-star. Meanwhile, Gifted and Damo balling. Well, wait a minute. That ain't the plan. I'm the man. I'm supposed to be the man here. That's not what the case was. That's why Max was let go.
I ain't gonna lie to you. The beginning and the end with the whole Max and Stephen A thing, at least to me, I don't know if anybody else noticed it. I forgot exactly who came on. About too. I don't know who came on the show. I forgot who came on the show and said it.
He said he's more black than Stephen A.
When he went on there and said he's more black than Stephen A. When they said
T.O. said that.
It was T.O. That was T.O. said Max is more black than Stephen A. That you could see a clear decline in the production of that show. You seen that? Oh yeah, we're wrapping this one up pretty soon.
Pretty soon. That was a culture shock.
Yeah.
Stephen A was like, more black.
This number, like, hold on.
He said Max be at our cookouts more than you, Stephen. I'm like, oh wow.
And Stephen A said, I bet you he won't be at this desk anymore.
We gotta get this dude off. He can't be on here no more. Nah, we gotta get him back. We gotta get him up out of here. This ain't gonna work.
I just wish that they did a better job at getting people. I feel like the best analyst there for years has, for me, always been Tim Legler, because anytime that he comes up, he got film on the board, he's breaking down the game, this and that, and he barely gets time. And I don't watch, I would say, football, right? But anytime they commentate on the game, it feels like these dudes understand exactly what they're talking about. They got film, plays, like they're talking about the game. But anytime you go there, it's just hot take culture, star player. Like, they're not breaking down the game. I feel like the essence of that is kind of lost. And especially if you let go of Max, the entertainment goes down as well, because now it's just random people that you don't know that are challenging Stephen A, and they don't have the name or the strength to really challenge them, and you care about it. So you can't lose both. It's either you're going to entertain at a high level or educate at a high level, and they're not doing either.
And this is the logic.
Oh, go ahead, Chill. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Damo. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, it's funny that you bring up the NFL thing, because I was going to talk on that too. You can see guys like when Tony Romo came over, when he retired and started commentating, analyzing football, he's when he's commentating the games, and to me personally, I don't feel like I've ever seen this on a consistent level when it comes to NBA color commentators. Tony Romo is breaking down the play. He's like, oh, and it's not even for just the Cowboys. This is for any team. Oh, I've seen this set. You're about to watch the tight end come off. He's going to go, he's going to shift the line. The left guard is going to pull right, and the running back's going to have a wide open hole. This is probably going to be a first down. And the play happens just like that.
Quite literally happened, yeah.
And he's watching the game, breaking it down with his experience. For the life of me, I've never watched Chris, and I'm just going to NBA players that I've seen commentate. Chris Webber, Reggie Miller, Steve Smith, these guys, I've never watched them break down what I'm watching from a player's perspective. They just seem like they're more animated, just more in tune fans. They're just keeping on the internet conversations during the game. They might give you a little behind the behind the scene, but they're not breaking down the plays I'm watching. You're not telling me the Allen Iverson cut that's going back door, and this man is setting this screen, and this guy's coming over here. You're not breaking that down until afterwards, and that's at halftime after Shaq, Kenny, and them then had somebody tell them, hey, this is what happened on this play. You're just going to fake like you're circling it, and we're going to have it done for you. Yeah. So it feels whack.
One thing about that though, Damo, is, and I do get what you're saying, it's few guys that come up and really break the game down through and through. and really give you the X's and O's. But one thing about it too is basketball is like this. It's constantly moving, so it's hard to do that. Like as in with football, every play stops and you get a chance to talk about the pass play, or like the play's a little slower. You get to sit there, you get to see the formation, you get to be like, okay, this is the play that they're about to run, or it's about to be this, and then the plays move a little slower. Basketball, it's hard to like do all of that. And then football, it's an actual play, as in where like, okay, these receivers are running this route. The linemen are breaking this way. The running back's going here. The quarterback has his reads that he has to break down.
You're more freelance in basketball sometimes.
Yeah, basketball, it's like, it's controlled chaos. Like a lot of times they're not even running plays. It's just a pick and roll. So it's, sometimes it's hard to break down a pick and roll.
JJ and Richard Jefferson do a good job of it though.
They do. I'm not saying that it can't be done.
It's been guys that's came up recently that's like done a better job of it. But I'm just talking historically the last 5 years, for example, like football analysts and football color commentating, clear basketball.
For sure.
And I feel like you're right, Domo. I just feel like, again, when you're doing a TV show, you have to think of like the casual consumer, right? And to appeal to those casuals, it's either you're going to educate me and make me like a fan, like a diehard fan of the game, or you're going to entertain the hell out of me with bullshit, but I like watching it, so I'm going to watch it. You have to choose a identity or be a blend between the two, and they're losing that balance terribly.
Right. And
go ahead. You've been going.
I think a lot of that, and Ticket alluded to it when he talked about coming from a player standpoint. Yeah, it might have been a little rough around the edges, but it does make a lot of sense because when you hear it from a player, like, for example, you just brought up Tony Romo. Well, Tony Romo being a quarterback in the NFL for 12 years, well, of course, he's going to see plays and break plays down. So when you move over to basketball, there's only a few people on television when they're on TV as basketball people that I listen to. Like when Tim Legler's on television, I listen to Tim Legler because Tim Legler is going to explain to you how you come off a curl cut and what happens when a guy switches, right? Jalen Rose is going to explain to you how the big man works down low and how you can get shots playing off the big man. He's going to explain that to you. He can explain things in a multitude of different ways, which educates you as a basketball, like you just said, make you go from being a casual to an actual basketball fan who understands the game, as opposed to somebody who, you just got dunked on with the weak hand and you don't know how that whole thing transpired. Now from an entertainment standpoint, well, that's what it's supposed to be. Initially, that's what it's supposed to be, is entertainment. However, I'm also getting educated on this too, and that's where these people are dropping the ball, where they're forgetting to educate these guys, like JJ Redick, for example. JJ Redick, he's another one who, with Stephen A, he gets on. I think that they've curbed him, like as opposed to what they did with Max. I think they've curbed him on his takes and shredding Stephen A, because the idea is this is Stephen A's show and Stephen A is the man. So we can't have you roasting him every time you come up here. So we'd like for you to get involved more in educating us. So, and I kind of feel like I think that that's a good balance. And if they were to get back to that, I still think that they could still be in the running. But we're in an information age, and information is accessible to everybody, which would explain why a lot of this stuff at ESPN is going on.
But if you look at it,
problem, because if you're letting go of all of these other guys who can challenge Stephen A for the sake of saying Stephen A is the one, what you're also doing is you're making Stephen A the only identifiable face that we care about, right? But if you have other people that are like consistently challenging him and contributing other things to lead to a consistent back and forth, that is the essence of what a debate is. You're losing that soul.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say, ain't this what this is about? Like my grandmother told me when I was a kid, if we agree on everything, one of us shouldn't be here.
That's a fact.
So,
but if you look at if you look at other sports, and I'm just going based off the sports that I've watched, I don't watch hockey, so I can't speak on hockey like that.
Right.
But in terms of baseball and football, and this can go to Ron's point of because those sports are a lot slower play to play compared to basketball, they're able to do it. But I hear what y'all saying when it comes to, the casual fan's the casual fan. But it's making me, if you look across basketball, football, and baseball, bro, if you look at football and baseball, it makes it seem like the casual fans are way smarter than casual basketball fans.
That's a fact.
Because they'll sit there and they'll have actual dialogues, conversations that are healthy, and they're geared towards, actually breaking down the game versus with basketball. It's a bunch of narrative-driven talks. If you look at football right now, they're doing the top 100 list. the top 100 list in football, even if people don't agree, it's still held with a certain level of respect with the production, how it's presented, players giving players love, whether it's at number 99 or number 2. You're giving them their love for making a list. You're breaking down why they're on the list and go so on and so forth. People can disagree with you being at 41, 45, but at the end of the day, it's about respect. When ESPN drops their top 100 basketball list, every single year, it's just headline ESPN top 100 list, and then you see the same slideshow. Oh, they got Melo, they got Melo 45, but they got Dame 42. They got this rookie 46. Why is that? You're just creating more narrative.
Zion is a top 20 player and the top 100. What the hell?
Yeah, and all that does is that creates
is because those sports, right? Like I feel like football and baseball are less individual based. I feel like basketball, if you have that one player, he can dominate a game so much that like people flock towards that one player. Like in those sports, it's more so like, no, you need like all 25 guys on like the staff to actually win. So like the team essence of the game is way more calculated because it's a more complicated game. In basketball, quite literally, you can put LeBron James, Giannis, Jokic, right? Like these special talents on the court, and they can bend the court so drastically that they get talked about more, in my opinion.
No, that's a fact.
That's a fact, and that's fair. But at the same time, it's up to y'all, right? The casual NBA fan is going to be the one watching TV. So it's up to ESPN to create a culture to not make it so toxic and just narrative-driven arguments. If you take this ESPN Top 100 list and just shift how you're presenting it, I'm not saying give it the NFL Top 100 production, but at least put a little more respect behind it. At least put a little more. I'm not gonna say nuance. Nuance is probably ain't the word. I'm blanking on the word I want to use. But if you just approach it from a less toxic approach, if you approach it from a less attention grabby, let's create this. Yeah, if you just do it from that will create a culture in NBA, the casual NBA fans. So when you go to a barbershop, so when you go to the barbershop, it's just not crazy. Blatant crazy talk. It's literally guys having a conversation. You can still argue, but it'll be more respectful and it'll be less narrative driven. It's not going to be, oh, I've heard Nick Wright say Jokic isn't top 5. We got to argue that. No, who cares if Jokic isn't top 5? Let's talk about what teams are going to do what, how this team is looking, what can this team do. Let's have more of those conversations, because that's the conversation in football. In football, yes, you'll have the, I got Josh Allen over Justin Herbert conversation. But at the end of the day, you're going to talk about, and this is going to your point, Gifted, on it's just less individualized. So maybe that can definitely be it. I can concede that could be it. But let's talk about why the Lakers are going to be better. And I'm just saying Lakers for the sake of the argument, people. But why the Lakers are going to be better than the Clippers this year. Let's talk outside of just, LeBron's not going to retire and Kawhi healthy. Let's talk about the other things. Let's talk about everything a part of the game outside of just the top 3 players. Like, I don't know. I just feel like when it comes to ESPN, that's where it starts. It starts with what you see on TV, and the casual fan can get adapted to talking more, be more analytical, talk more stats, talk more everything outside the game other than just the narratives and just whatever. Because it happens in football, it happens in baseball. Even though people don't like baseball, at the end of the day, they're not just sitting down talking about, Max Scherzer, clear Jake DeGrom. No, we're talking about the teams, bro.
But with that being said, though, Damo, the narrative is what drives the debate. The difference is when the narrative comes out and the narrative is from somebody else. So if Gifted steps to me and he goes, Nick Wright said that Joker is not a top 5 player. Well, do you think that? And if you do think that, why do you think that? Explain yourself. As opposed to, you're a ridiculous idiot. And wait a minute, this ain't even my logic. This is his logic. Well, what do you think about that? So I can't tell you how many times I've got approached or I've got cornered, so to speak. Explain to me why Kobe Bryant isn't a top 10 player. Even though if he's at 11, if I just moved him over 1, this whole thing would stop. It would be done, but I would have to explain myself. And once I explain myself, you know what? I don't agree with you, but I respect your logic. Okay, I understand where you're coming from with that. As opposed to, well, I don't think he's top 10 because this guy said he isn't top 10. I don't think he's top 10 because these people say he isn't top 10. And I don't have an explanation for that. So when you got shows like, when you have shows like First Take and you have shows like NFL, when you have shows like that, I understand the casual fan who doesn't know much and isn't really educated. I think the most important thing is when you hear something, that's somebody else's narrative. That's not yours. So when you come up with something, you're able to defend it more than what somebody else said.
Yo, and Damo, you weren't the only one that was recognized this weekend. I felt like a star this weekend. Hey, I'm walking through the city with the the illustrious Chill Town. People walking up to us like, oh, you Chill Town. Let me get a picture. Let me get a
This
picture.
dude right here.
And then I'm walking behind them. They're like, oh, and you the host.
Yeah. Make sure we clear on that. Don't make it sound like I'm like he was Tito Jackson or something. I was Mike. No, it wasn't like that.
Tito. I was for sure.
No,
Tito.
it was not like that.
Hey,
no, it was not. It was not like that.
I felt like somebody for once in my life walking next to Chill Town.
It was not like that. So
yeah,
anyway.
but you guys heard about Anthony Edwards? He's changing his number.
Yes, I did.
Yep,
yeah.
going to number 5.
Going number 5. He always won a number in college and also high school. So like for him, he finally, has a chance to change it. I mean, he made All-Star as a 1, so I can't wait to see how he continues to progress. His new number for him, he feels like it's going to be a completely different player. So
he just looks like a guy that's coming. That's what he looks like. He looks like
Absolutely.
that guy that when I just think about players that were coming up, and you look at this guy and you go, he's gonna turn into something. He looks like that guy who's here. He comes. This guy is gonna be the next one. He's gonna be awesome. And with that being said, focus, Damo. Will you focus, brother? Focus.
Domo,
I'm here.
No, wait, hang on. Domo was killing me that whole time because I know why he did that. I know why.
It could have been worse if Low and Dub was up here. Oh, hey, the stream would be shut down.
It would have been bad. It would have been bad.
Let me rephrase that, Damo. He looks like a guy that's on his way. How about that? You like that better? Okay. All right. He looks like a guy that's on his way, where you see him and you go, yo, this dude is going to be that guy in a year or 2. He just looks like that kind of. I still feel like every time I watch him, from watching him in the playoffs last year, even though he wasn't able to score as much as he would like, he did the other things that suggested what great players do. And I'm thinking to myself, 21, 22 years old, he's still figuring the game out. Like, he doesn't know exactly how to play yet at the pro level. He's still figuring it out. Once the game starts to slow down for him, I still, to this day, I feel like we're not going to have a conversation about who the best 2 guard in the game is. I think it's going to be him, and I think it's going to be everybody else. But I do think we're going to have a serious conversation about him being a top 5 player in the game in the next 2 to 3 years tops.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100%
What's
agree.
up, Ox? What's up, Ticket? Y'all was waiting
Big
for
Ox,
each other to join? You was waiting for Ticket to get on so you could get on?
No.
Well, here we go again.
What up, Big Ox? You in the house?
What's up with y'all? Y'all can hear me, right?
Talking about
Yeah.
hot.
Yo, in light of us talking about Anthony Edwards, Chill just said that we were talking about his number change, and Gifted it kind of alluded to it. Well, his number change may be a symbol of him taking a step forward. And Chill was saying that he thinks Anthony Edwards is
on the way.
On the way. That's a better.
No, I know how Chitchat feel about it.
And so now I want to starting with Anthony Edwards. I want to give you guys a list of a couple players. I want to name off some players, and I want you guys to let me know what step they're going to take forward. If you guys think they're going to take a step into, if you're one of your players or one of your team's best players, but now you're about to take a leap into the All-Star tier. If you think they're going to go from an All-Star to, that next superstar tier or whatever it may be. If you think they're going to be, in contention for most improved. But I'm going to list off some players, and then we're going to get into it. And these are all young players that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
First player I want to start with is Tyrese Maxey.
I feel like for Tyrese, the biggest leap he needs to make is he needs to find a way to slow his game down a bit more in the half court and really improve his playmaking on the ball. I feel like he's more of a complimentary off guard who is in like the 90th percentile in terms of speed. Obviously, he can shoot at a very high level. He can get to the basket at a high level, but it's a matter of attempting to leverage that against strong defenses and creating more opportunities for his teammates. I think that is his next step. But every year, in some capacity, he finds a way to improve his game. But that's what I would say.
I'll say, in terms of Maxey, in the situation that he is now, I don't know how much he can improve. The only way I can see him taking a step is if he's a true number 2 on that team, or if he's in a Mikal Bridges situation. If you're in a situation where you're playing behind Joel Embiid and they're still trying to find a number 2 to play behind Joel Embiid, and you're that 3, he's just going to plateau. I think he's reached the peak he can reach as a number 3 for the Sixers. So it's a matter of if James Harden is going to take a steep decline, and now you're just, because of talent, you're going to be the number 2, then I see him taking probably borderline all-star type of steps. But unless he's traded to a situation where he's by himself or he's the clear number 2, I don't see much of a leap that he can take from last year. I
respect that, but like, what exactly do you think on the court he would need to do to take that leap, though, to you, Domo?
For me, it's just about volume, and confidence in being that guy. I'm not saying that it's a skill issue or a talent issue. It's just about, it's only one basketball on the court. You have a guy that just won an MVP. He's still going to be playing. He should still play at that level. James Harden, as much as he likes to be injured, or he might not be the James that we were used to 5 years ago, he still can, and he showed it last year, he still has those moments where he's James Harden and he's still getting paid buku money. So he's going to, the ball is going to be in his hands. So it's just about him being able to have the ball enough to be able to be that player.
Well, to gift its point, I got roasted like 6 months ago. I wanted to let James Harden walk out the front door. I wanted to give the ball to Maxey. And the reason why I want to give the ball to Maxey is exactly why, is for the exact reason of what Damo said. Because where he is right now, he's essentially a backup singer. Like, we don't know how good this guy can actually sing if we wrote some songs for him. And we can see how good he actually is. Well, let's give him the basketball and find out. And I feel like in that setting with Doc Rivers and with Sam Cassell, he's at point guard university. With him being at point guard university, there's no reason why he wouldn't improve. The transition player that he is, the athlete that he is, playing with Doc Rivers, playing with Doc Rivers and playing with Sam Cassell, teaching him how to be a point guard. All of those things would factor into him improving. But as long as James Harden is there, as long as he's the number 3, he's the third guy on the microphone doing this. That's who he is. He's never going to be at the front.
So if he had the actual role, though, do you believe Maxey could be a number 2 on a team that actually wins a title? And you're like, is he that caliber of overall?
Well, number one, I do think that he could be I think he could be a starting league guard on a playoff team. I do feel like that 100%. If he was given that opportunity, I do feel like that. When you're talking about winning an NBA championship, man, we talk a lot of the guys that we talk about being lead dogs or number 2 on a championship team. Well, we don't know that they're that until they're actually that. We think that they can be that, so we don't know they're that until they're actually that. Maxey, on the other hand, I feel like with his athletic ability, with his growth, all of those things would factor in to them being close. Now, of course, you're going to need some things to go your way, like Joel Embiid staying healthy, right? Him being Tobias Harris playing the way Tobias Harris can possibly play. But I think that if those things came into place and he actually got an opportunity over the course of time, I do feel like he could be one of the better league guards in the game. I do feel like that.
Chilltown, and don't stop there though. The thing I most like about Maxey is when the lights get bright, he poke his chest out. Like, I'm here to hoop. He looking at Joel and James like, yo, are y'all finna show up?
Right.
And he proved it the last 2 playoffs, where it's like, yo, he's clearly the third option this year. Last year, we wasn't even expecting anything from Maxey, and he came and balled out both years.
Played well.
Man, I'm playing well. Like, this ain't nothing. Like, I was meant for this. I was built for this.
Yeah, well, last year we spoke about it. Last season, so this year, just a couple months ago, and I was saying, and I still feel this way, that maybe they should try to play Maxey as that first option on the team. Now, obviously, he's, I'm only talking about scoring. I'm like, let's facilitate looking for him to be the first one to score. Let's facilitate to get him off, because I feel like Joel Embiid is gonna get his regardless. I think it might be a change of pace for them to actually start, looking at him as we want you to score, kid. Like come on, let's get some shots up. Let's get you running in the open court. Let's try some pick and rolls with him and Joel a little bit more. Just get him involved a lot more on the offensive end. It's him being the centerpiece of the offense. I think. Is it fair,
Big Ox? Is it fair, Big Ox, to say that instead of him being the number 1 guy, just let's involve him more, because the offense is going to run through Joel Embiid. He's the guy that the offense runs through. But I think that he would be more impressive and he would be more impactful if we involved him more, as opposed to we're just going to give him the basketball and we're going to run the whole thing everything through you. Well, number one, he's not prepared for that because he's never been involved in anything like that before, especially on a playoff team at that caliber, playing with the league MVP. I'm not just going to immediately take the ball. I'm not just going to immediately take the ball and give it to him and go, yo, we're going to run it through you. Well, wait a minute. How about we just involve you more as opposed to now we running it through you?
He was involved. He was involved in the offense.
I think it was limited, though. I do think it was limited.
I don't think they ran enough. I
understand what you mean.
Joel Embiid.
I understand what you're saying. Sound like it might be a huge jump, might be a huge leap. It might look completely different, but he's not going to be ready until he gets out there and does it. Right. When when your niece or nephew, or your kid, they turn 4 or 5, it's like, hey, it's about time to get swimming, and they're like, no, you just not. Get your ass on the pool, Push him in.
So use him like Denver used Jamal Murray in a situation where he was the primary scorer, and a lot of times when they wanted him to score first, even though we all know Jokic is their best guy.
And obviously, Joel's not the facilitator Jokic is, and I'm not calling on him to become, Jokic. I don't think that's healthy for the sport or for your players when you see something like that. When you see something like what they did in Denver, and then now we're in Philadelphia, like, hey, we're gonna play like that. Joel, you're gonna play like Jokic now. Like, no, I don't think that's a good move at all. But I do think that when it comes to the offensive end of the floor, I think the 76ers should consider Tyrese Maxey as their centerpiece. Like here, come on, we going to you. We going off you. Let's go. Let's get you. Let's get you going early. Let's as soon as the tip goes up, we want you shooting. Let's go. Go. Because like I said,
I just feel like you can do that if you're using him with Embiid in 2-man games, or anytime their games complement each other perfectly, because Maxey can shoot the ball well, and obviously Embiid, once he gets to the elbow, mid post or whatever, he can pop out of that very, very quickly. The issue to me, though, is if Maxey cannot show that, hey, I can score, but I can also play at a high level, he won't be able to have the ball in his hands more, right? If you look at Denver, Jamal has a great passing ability, and he can score from all 3 levels. So him having the ball compared to Jokic at times could make more sense. Tyrese has not shown great pop in that regard. To me, that's really where his next jump has to be. I agree that in their offense, he got iced out sometimes and wasn't used a lot in their offense to what we know he can do. But him taking that leap in that area, to me, matters the most.
Well, Gifted, though, you got to understand, too, it's a couple things when it comes to Tyrese Maxey's playmaking. First off, he just might not be a playmaker. Obviously, we won't know until he gets the ball in his hands 4 times, but he just might not be that. But second off, I'm not really looking for me personally. I wouldn't.
Wait a minute, Ron. What are you talking about when you said playmaker? Hold on, Ron. Go back to the playmaker logic. What are you talking about when you said playmaker?
A dude that averages over 6 assists.
Is that all playmaking is? Is playmaking
we know he's a scorer, though. Oh, okay. What, are you talking about just penetrating and just creating?
I'm talking about overall playmaking, because I don't think that you're not just a playmaker if you're just distributing the basketball. It's way more to playmaking than just distributing the basketball. So I want to make sure that I'm understanding you when you say playmaking. Now, if you mean that he might not be an elite distributor, okay, I can get with that logic. But as a playmaker, I think we're talking about something different.
Okay, playmaking is like how you bend the entire defense. I feel like what he does oftentimes is he'll catch the ball, he'll explode off of closeouts, or he'll take catch and shoot opportunities. But in terms of him just having the ball and consistently breaking down a defense to kick and create other opportunities for players, he has not done that. And to be fair to him, the system that he's in doesn't allow for him to be in that type of role. I think that's fair. But at the same time, like you said, Ron, we don't know if he can do that. I'm just saying the idea of making him the centerpiece type of guy around Joel Embiid, the only way to even entertain that is if he's able to have that skill. That matters to me.
Here's what I was gonna say, though.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
We don't know if he's gonna be that, but at the same time, keep in mind they still got James Harden. James Harden led the league in assists, and James Harden is a playmaker. So you're not ever gonna ask Tyrese Maxey or a lot of 90% of the players in the league to be your elite playmaker over James Harden. But furthermore, though, what I would say with Tyrese Maxey based on his game is I don't necessarily – I agree with Bob, but I don't fully agree with him. I'm not going to make him the centerpiece of the offense. But what I would do with Tyrese Maxey is I would almost give him that Ray Allen type of role. Not saying he's a Ray Allen shooter. You guys chill. I'm saying I would have him running all around the court. I would have you setting double screens for him, elevator screens, backdoor screens. I would have Tyrese Maxey being that guy off ball that you have to center your defense around. You have to focus on him because he's constantly moving, coming off dribble handoffs. And then you swing the ball to him, have Joel come set a quick on ball screen. He rolls, he passes, or he passes to the away man, cuts off the next person. I would have him constantly moving. I would have him in our offense like that.
Which is fair, Ron. But I seen him in transition. I seen him in a half court. I want the ball in his hands. I want him to have the best. I want him to have the basketball. I do not want him playing off the basketball. I want him working with Joel Embiid. I want him creating for Tobias Harris. I want him creating shots for other people in addition to himself, because he has that kind of ability, and I need for him to be able to do that in volume. And the only way that that's going to happen is him being on the court, which is why I said initially that I wanted to let James Harden walk out the front door, because I seen everything that I'm going to get from him. And this kid right here, the only way he's going to get better is if I give him the basketball. I immediately, when you brought up football, I thought about that. It's like the quarterback that you drafted in the first round, except he's sitting behind the starting quarterback for the last 3 years. What do we have with this guy? We don't know what we have with him until we put him on the field. We got to find out who this guy is. And I feel like that's the same thing going on with Maxey. Until we find out what we have with him, he's going to be exactly what we just got finished talking about. He's going to be a background singer. And that's the best he's going to be. The problem
with that, Chill, is I agree with you on that. But then you have to ask the very uncomfortable question, do we have time to figure that out with the aging Joel Embiid? Do we have the time to see if Maxey can do so, this or that? Like, I don't believe in my mind that Maxey, even if he's given that opportunity, is going to be your number 2 on a championship team based on his overall player limitations. Mm-hmm. He shows a lot of flashes, sure, but his size, to me, is a problem. His defense, while he tries, is still a problem. And to me, he's not this like superstar creator, right? Even if he's given that opportunity, sure, he might be better. But what we're talking about is we have to see him in that role. And typically, you need to have at least multiple seasons under your belt, understanding that role in your offensive system. So to me, what we're talking about is, okay, Maxey can maybe be this in like the next 3 years at like a superstar level, maybe, right? How many years does Embiid have as a number 1? How many more years?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because the same logic was going on with Shaq. Shaq needed Kobe Bryant to turn into that guy. This wasn't a guy who, okay, we got 4 or 5. No, this thing has to happen, and it has to happen now. Maxey averaged 20 a game last year. Maxey wasn't, and this is without having the ball primarily. So if we give him the basketball and we actually open up the offense for him a little bit more and actually allow him to be that guy, I think that Joel Embiid, what's Joel Embiid, 28, 20, 29, 28?
29.
About
so I'm thinking,
the knees are definitely 32. Those knees are 32.
That's the thing, we got. So at this rate, I'm giving Joel Embiid at this level. I think that he'll be up there for probably another 2 or 3 more years. That's year 6 for Maxey by the time he's starting to slow down. Well, if we give him the basketball now, then now we're talking about something completely different. We're talking about a guy in Maxey materializing even faster because that's what we need. Yeah. We don't need this guy to be processed over the course of another year. No, we need this thing to happen now.
I know that you're not comparing him to Kobe in terms of player, right? I just want to be clear though. Like, to me, the reason why they were able to have success is not only did Kobe take that jump, but Kobe was always a two-way player that had size and could play make with Shaq as the two-man game, right? Maxey, to me, if we're estimating what he could be in year 6, right? We have to assume Joel Embiid is also going to play at a tier 1 level in the next 2 years. And me personally, I understand he's been hurt every year, but I don't view him as a tier 1 player, period. So to me, having him as your number 1 option and then having Maxey as a guy that hasn't really taken that step or, can really play at that superstar number 2 level, to me, I don't really see that really reaching success in the next 3 years. That's where I'm at.
I disagree. I think he played at a number 2 level.
So if that's true, yeah, he's talking about Joel Embiid. So if that's true, then we got to rip our business plan up, brother, because we ain't winning it with this guy. We got the wrong thing going on. We got to rip up our business plan. And not only do we have to rip up our business plan, do we have our lead guard in Maxey? Because you already made it clear that Joel Embiid is not the number 1. Now, who can be the number 1? I don't know. Well, You've also made it clear that Maxey is not a number 2. Well, we don't know what he is until we actually give him the basketball and turn him loose. But it's obvious from your assessment that Joel Embiid ain't the number 1. So if that's the logic, we got to rip this plan up and we got to move on from Joel Embiid. And if we're moving on from Joel Embiid, and if we're moving on from Joel Embiid, the process is over.
Yes. My logic with that team right now, obviously, we got to see like how this team bounces back. They will have another, head coach in Nurse, and maybe he has more flexibility in their offensive scheme and structure. But I'm just like prorating where the league is going, what the Sixers have accomplished thus far, and the caliber of player that we've seen Joel Embiid be. Obviously, last year he had an MVP caliber type of season, but consistently in the playoffs, even when he is healthy, the limitations I've seen him have against strong defenses is still going to be there. And when you compare him to other teams like the Bucks, Celtics, Denver, it feels like that team isn't really up there in that tier 1 contention level. So for me personally, I can understand if they do blow that up. Obviously, you have a star player, so they're not going to do that. But seeing Maxey take that leap, I agree with you. As long as Harden is on that team, it's only going to be so far Maxey can go. But I just don't think that naturally who Maxey is as a player, I don't believe he's going to reach that tier 2 status until he's able to play make. To me, he's more of an off-guard specialist like Klay Thompson, but way more athletic, right? Like Klay, he averaged 19 points, 20 points, right? But Klay Thompson was never the number 2 for Golden State. That was Draymond, because Draymond was the captain of the defense, and he manned that unit. Maxey needs to show responsibility in that regard, but he's not going to get that opportunity with James Harden on the team. So it's a tough pickle that team is in right now.
Why is moving off of Joel off the table?
It shouldn't be off the table.
No. He's still hold on. He's still 29 years old. Yes, he's coming up MVP caliber season. You still give him another couple years, especially
not
with
a
the
caliber
coach.
season. He was the league MVP.
Why are we giving him another couple of years?
You're asking
hold on.
So you're asking a good question.
If you move off of Joel Embiid, what are you trying to get? You're going to go on a full-on rebuild? You're not going to get a fair competition for Joel Embiid.
He's right.
You're never going to
get trade Joel.
You won't trade Joel. Who are you going to get?
You're not. Trade Joel right now.
So you keep him again. You keep him. Hopefully,
so
you get another MVP caliber season. It's not impossible. It's not possible, but you're not going to get fair value.
Give me the logic behind what. Give me the logic behind trading Joel. So you take a roster where you guys. How far did they go last year?
Semifinals.
You know where they go.
And how far did they go the year before that?
The same place they always go to, Ron.
Okay, so you got a roster that you went to the second round last year. You were up 3-2. Also, you got the league MVP. You got a young budding star that's ready to break through. You got
Ron, I thought you said you was off for this round.
James Harden.
Yo, Chitchat, didn't he say he was off for this?
5 minutes of the game.
He said he was off this.
Hold on, relax. So you got James Harden. You also got Tobias Harris, and then you got a lot of other pieces as well. You got a new championship coach that you just signed. What is your logic to play defense, Ron? What is your logic behind trading Joel? I'm saying, are you now saying you're taking all these pieces and just blowing it up and just starting?
Well, look, let me.
That's exactly. I'm literally saying.
Go ahead,
boss.
That's literally what Damo is saying.
Ron, like 100%. It's a possibility. What I'm saying is yes, it's definitely an option. Like if I'm whoever the GM, it's not Elton Brand over there anymore. Who's the GM over there? I don't know. Maury. It's Daryl Morey, right? Daryl Morey. I'm more than consider taking Valanciunas and BI. Give me Valanciunas and BI. Maybe Trey Murphy and a couple picks. You know,
so you're gonna be another mid team forever. Like you just want to be a mid team.
What I'm saying is at least that team has room for improvement. If I now that's just the first name, the first couple names that jumped in my head. So y'all don't kill me for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm obviously not the GM, but I'm just saying like there's packages out there that I'm willing to take. I'm willing to take some packages, bro. Well, okay, that was just the first one.
I get it. So, Gifted and Damo, I want to hear from you too. But
so look, Ron,
the only thing that makes sense to me is blowing it up if you want to rebuild. And at this point, I just
Ron, you wouldn't consider like I said,
What,
let's just work with
that. I'm supposed to. What the fans gonna blow the arena up? They gonna strap dynamite to all around the arena and blow it up. Yo, if you do that process 2.0, they wouldn't be able to hack it.
They might, yeah.
But that's not. You don't go.
You got to move out of Philly. You can't stay to Philly no more.
Go get some young guys that can play. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who they are. I'm not sure where you go, but there is a package out there for Joel Embiid, bro. It's not like he's completely untradeable, and you still work with Tyrese Maxey, but you go get some young players that can go. I don't think the Philadelphia fans are completely off of that. Like, I don't think they're blowing up the arena if you make a feasible.
They ran Ben Simmons off, so.
I mean, Ben Simmons is not Joel Embiid. Hold on, Joel Embiid had three straight MVP type of season.
What has Joel done for Philadelphia? Philadelphia is one of those cities.
That's a fact, Bob. That's a fact right there.
Every team is not going to win the championship every year. Y'all act like, but
Jalen, the process has been going on for a decade and a half, bro. It's been going on for a whole 18 years. The process is done. You know what I'm saying? It's over.
You know what I mean? So
what I'm saying is I'm actually I'll take the stance.
No, everyone isn't, Tone. Everyone is not tradable. No, they're not.
The cats in Philly, I'm sure that they're more fed up with the process. They're more fed up with the second round. I'm sure they're tired of that. I'm pretty sure that the cats over there in Philly wouldn't mind a fresh brand new start.
I've seen that. I heard that, Damo.
You know,
I know sure what that was.
He's not underachiever, bro. His GOAT is an underachiever.
When it comes to the process,
about underachieving. LeBron is underachieving based on the circumstance that he faced.
I'm talking about
Jalen Ticket. We're not going to
don't open up that book.
You're talking about Joel Embiid. You're talking about Joel Embiid. We're talking about Joel Embiid. That's what we're talking about.
Man.
Ron, I just want to be clear. Like I get what you're saying. I'm not saying that you do trade Embiid, but I can't just say that that's off of the table, because what's true is right now, Embiid's value is the highest it's going to ever be, right? He does have injury history every year in the postseason for whatever reason. I'm not even going to say it's all the way his fault, but he's been injured. And even when he's not, if you watch Embiid's play versus Brooklyn, Embiid did not play at a superstar level, right? He hasn't shown that in the playoffs consistently against strong defenses. And what I'm more so preparing for is, what if they have to trade James Harden? They don't get the value back that they want. They're out in the second round again. What if Embiid just says, well, I want out, right? Like I'm more so saying, for the future of the franchise, you have to put everything on the table. That's it.
Yeah.
When it's Joel Embiid, what you call it? With Joel Embiid, I've already went on record saying that I don't think he's the number one if you're trying to win a championship team. It's been 6 years of him giving you high-level basketball, and there's been nothing to show for it. And you literally got to this point by tanking and giving the city of Philly nothing to watch for multiple years to build up a team to still do nothing. At this point, you look around the league, you see what a lot of these other young development teams are doing. You see what the Rockets are doing. You see what the Thunder are doing. You see what the Pacers are doing. You see what the Jazz are doing. You see what the Magic are doing. All these teams, well, not all of them, it's a mix. Some of these teams is pure just rebuild. Other teams, it's like I said with the Thunder, when Chris Paul took them to the playoffs when they weren't supposed to be in the playoffs, a competitive rebuild. I'm not saying blow it all up. Keep Maxey. Maxey is your new cornerstone for the time being. That's your best player. You take Joel Embiid, you go and you knock on the Pacers' door, you knock on whatever team's door, that young team with a ton of talent that's budding, that wants to take that step, but they have a ton of young talent. You go ahead and scrape you off 2 young guys, 2 role players, and a bundle of picks for Joel Embiid. You take James Harden before the trade deadline, and you get whatever you can for him. And you walk out of the season. Look at how the Nets did. The Nets walked out of the season. When they made that trade, I remember no one thought they won that trade.
Oh, Nets got fleeced. Nets got fleeced.
Nets got fleeced. Yeah. This is crazy. What? Yo, the Nets really, the Nets really didn't get nothing back for Kyrie or Kevin Durant.
Swaps, Mikhail,
and
Cam
now
Johnson.
Look, and now in half of a season after the trade deadline, you see the young guys that they have. They have their new cornerstone young guy. They have their young pieces, and they also have a ton of assets going forward. And now you have a good stepping stone to build on and to try to be competitive in this next era of basketball. That's all I would want for the Sixers. This stuff is done. This is done. I was getting into high school when the process started. It is over, bro. I have a child now. It's done. The process is over. This is over.
The child
bro.
gonna see them win, Damo. The child gonna see them win.
Damo, I was getting into high school when the process started. Damo.
Hey, Damo, I slightly disagree just a little bit. The only reason why I say slightly, and I agree with the majority of what you're saying. I just think that if they can get something good for James Harden, I think that gives them a shot. I think for me, I think that if you can get something good for James, for me, I would package James Harden and Tobias Harris, and see if I can go get me another All-Star level player
for anything. Ticket. I'll package them for
Tobias'
anything.
contract is.
Well, I'm just saying. What I'm saying is the reason why I'm saying this is because I think that Joel Embiid needs a closer on that team. I think he needs a starter as a closer. I don't think Joel Embiid's a closer, and I think that's the problem that we see in the playoffs. When we get to the playoffs, he can't deliver. He's getting flogged down. He needs for example, you know how Shaq needed Kobe kind of just to take over in certain moments because maybe Shaq was getting triple teamed. Well, that's what's going on with Joel Embiid. He's getting double teamed, triple teamed, and sometimes he's getting played on by guards. But he doesn't have that elite guard on the perimeter. Even though Max is good, he doesn't have an elite guard that can break down the defense and take over the game late in the game. You know what I'm saying? And then keep the pressure off him. I would do that and just keep shooters around that team. That's the route I would go. If you were looking at a specific guy, if I'm looking at some guys that surround the league that I'm thinking, okay, this might be the guy. If he wasn't so injury prone, I would have thought about Paul George being a guy like that I could put around him. I think Paul George has shown in moments he can be a good closer. He's shown in moments he can't be too, but I like his style, but he just doesn't play.
What about Donovan Mitchell?
But I was going to get to that. A guy like Spidey Mitch, who may not stay in Cleveland. That's a guy I will be targeting as well. And then you have a couple other guys who are lingering here and there, who are very good players, but may can get got. Maybe you can go get a Brandon Ingram, depending on what happens this season going forward. Maybe Brandon Ingram's not happy no more with the situation with Zion, and he wants out. Of New Orleans, because I've heard that too. I've heard that Ingram's getting kind of fed up with that situation over there, with not knowing if that dude's going to be available, knowing that the team, they're not moving off of him right now. So if I'm Philly, I'm looking at that possibility as well. Also, you can look at a guy. Now, I'm not so high on him like some of you guys may be, but a Zach LaVine. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just looking at a wing or a perimeter guard who can put the ball in the cup. And then when it's time, he can create his own bucket and go get me a shot, because I'm seeing that really in the playoffs, Joel Embiid is too much for him right now, man. And he's not able to be the leader and handle that moment in the playoffs. And then he hasn't had a guy. When he did have a guy, now watch, when James Harden gave you a flashback, he kind of showed you what he could do in certain situations. But they need a guy who's more reliable than what James Harden is, that can do that on a regular basis, that can take a game over late. Not saying he got to get 40, but that can take a game over and close out in that situation. If James Harden could have sustained that, they would have been good. That would have worked.
Are we looking at Joel Embiid specifically on his age, or are we looking at, is it a combination of his age and how long he's been in the league? Because just so you guys know, Olajuwon didn't win until year 10. He was 31 years old.
I'm not looking at this. I don't think it's about that. I think it's about how he's being played in the playoffs. I think that he does not deal with the doubles and the triples well, like the all-time great bigs.
Marcus Smart will.
Every time he gets to the playoffs and these teams start throwing multiple guys at him or smaller guys, he gets confused and doesn't know it's like he forgets everything he's done during the regular season, and he gets confused. And see, that's when you need another guy who you can say, you know what? All right, look, take pressure off him right now, and you go. No,
Ticket, you letting him off the hook with that. No, Ticket, you're letting him off the hook with that. Because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing you said about Anthony Davis. When Anthony Davis gets double teamed, and B, you got to be better in a double team. You got to be better.
No. Understand what I'm saying? But AD had LeBron James that could take over. AD had LeBron James that could take over. Without LeBron James being able to take over, win that chip. So, and then when you go through history and look at this. Hakeem may have been one of the only ones. You understand what I'm saying? And Joel Embiid ain't on Hakeem level. He may have been one of the only ones that did it like that. All the other bigs, they had those guards. You understand what I'm saying? They had those guards that could take over, they could go put up numbers and take over certain situations. I'm just saying, for example, if Harden was younger and if Harden were more, if we could depend on him more in the clutch, he could have been that type of dude. But no, you got to get that type of guy in there with a guy like Joel Embiid, because I've seen
that already. He had that before, and he still lost. They had Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler.
No. That could be the organization's fault. But all I'm saying is he's had a plethora of opportunities, a plethora of teammates around him, man. Here's why they didn't count.
Was not at that level back then. He was not the same.
Here's why they didn't count. That didn't count for one. You only had Jimmy for 1 year. That's for one. And for second, they had beef on that team between who was going to be the guy between Jimmy and Ben, because Ben was a younger guy, the all-star. So it wasn't like it was Jimmy. He gave it up to Ben because he's like, look, I'm not going to sit up here and argue with y'all all day. If y'all want to go this route with them, go ahead and go that route. And he left, and then look what happened. I can understand if he was there more time. Now, I believe if they would have chose Jimmy over Ben Simmons or over Tobias Harris, we got a whole different story now. We got a whole different story in Philly. If they would have made the right decision and chose Jimmy, we got a whole different story in Philly.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
Wrap it up like a condom, man. It's done. Just wrap it up.
You out, Damo. You out on Philly.
I'm done with Philly, man. I'm done. It's over.
Damo, I thought you were talking about this segment, but yeah, I guess
too.
Philly should wrap it up.
Let's talk about another young player.
We'll wrap up this segment too. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the super chats as of right now, and then we're gonna get to the title of the show. I got Derrick Rose versus the field, so I got 9 elite point guards for you guys. Some are current, some played in the past, and I want you guys to let me know MVP Derrick Rose. Yes, Damo, one of your favorite players of all time.
I can't wait for this segment.
How he stacks up against these guys. Also, I want to do some promo for some later shows coming on today. We talked about football a little earlier today. Well, tonight, Players' Choice Gridiron at 9 Eastern Time, we have a former pro. He goes by the name of Dante Hall. He will be on Players' Choice Gridiron tonight. Yeah, the Dante Hall. He'll be on there. He'll be on there. So you guys make sure you tap into that. Send your super chats, ask him some questions. It's going to be a lit episode tonight. Also, it's a show later today. It comes on at 5 Eastern. Chill, Bob. Chill with Chill. Come chill with Chill and Ox today at 5 Eastern. Y'all come tap in. Y'all come tap in. But we got a new member, Viro. Appreciate you for coming through. Welcome to the show. Ronnie with the super chat said, can we stop with the D Cousins propaganda? He was good when he played, but he's not better than Embiid or Jokic.
I got an argument about that with Embiid. I got an argument with Embiid. I have a real argument with him. Hold on. I got an argument with Embiid because if he don't get hurt that season, him and AD play together. The way that level that Negro's playing that year, him and AD play together, bro.
Really good.
Bro, he was outplaying AD all across the board that year. He was outplaying AD, bro, all across the board. Go look it up. Go watch those games again. Boogie Cousins not only was a heart and soul that year, he had made a big difference on the team that year. He had outplayed AD all across the board. I'm talking about everybody thought his numbers would dip. His numbers was legit when he played with AD. And I'm talking about all across the board.
If Boogie did not tear his Achilles that season, those Pelicans in the playoffs,
they
were going to be trouble. They were going to be trouble. They were going to be trouble.
Weren't they running him like a point center? Like that was the thing they were doing.
Yeah,
that was crazy. That was the crazy. He was running.
He was throwing AD. He was dead ass throwing AD live.
Drew on that team too. Drew Holiday on that team
doing right.
Drew Holiday, Rondo on that team.
Drew, AD, and DeMarcus Cousins. They could have made
Rondo.
A run to the chip would not have been shocking at all.
Although his defense was still not that great.
Rondo, you know Ox gonna bring up Rondo. You already know what's
Rondo's him. Rondo playoff Rondo's the real thing.
They disrespect Boogie, but Boogie could do more than Embiid. Boogie can handle it. He could shoot the three just like Embiid. He can post up just like Embiid. He's to me, he's a better creator. He plays better out of the traps, out of the double teams. He's a monster. The only thing I'm getting is a better defender. Embiid's a better rebounder.
Way better defender.
No, I wouldn't say better rebounder. I say about even.
I think Cousins was a better rebounder than
Embiid should be. Okay. I thought you said
Cousins was better. No, I'm going with Cousins.
Cousins was a monster, bro. Monster. Yeah. Don't y'all get it twisted talking about some heat. Nah, y'all
there's not 7 or 8 centers in league history who are more talented offensively than Cousins. He might be a top 5 offensive talent at the center position all the time.
Top 5 offensive talent?
Yo, top 5.
Easy.
He might be. Yeah,
easy.
Calm down.
I think 10 for sure, maybe 5.
Bob, his ability to take dudes off the dribble.
About this talent, this ability to do everything. I'm not one of the most offensively versatile centers of all time.
He's good. Ain't nobody saying he's not good.
I'm not disagreeing with his assessment of the talent. I'm just disagreeing with how quick sometimes we talk about how good somebody is, and then instantly like he was a top 5. Nah, he wasn't. He was cold as hell. Trust me, I know. He was cold as hell.
If you saw Boogie's size in real life and saw what he does at that size,
yo, I seen Boogie Cousins in real life.
I know what Ticket talking about. Like if you seen him in real life, that's 6'10".
I know what he's talking about. I've seen DeMarcus Cousins. I've played in every March of Dimes of the summer when DeMarcus was out there.
March of Dimes? People don't know March of Dimes. What is it?
Those calm down, Damo. Calm down. March of Dimes. Those tournaments. The proceeds go to cancer research and whatnot. All the mostly in whatever city the March of Dimes tournament.
Where's March of Dimes though?
Well, I believe there's more than just the one in Sacramento though. I'm talking about the one in Sacramento though. We used to play in that March of Dimes. You know what I'm saying? We don't play like we play the King. Usually play the Kings team for the championship, and they usually kick our ass. But we do that though. So like I know DeMarcus Cousins. I've seen it in the flesh. DeMarcus is different and movable. He's way too fast to be that big. But still like. I'm not ready for that top 5.
Focus, Damo. Will you focus? Focus, Damo.
Yo, what I say, Damo?
Damo got lost right there, man. Damo got lost there when he said that shit, huh?
Hold on 1 second, Ron. Hey, Bob, since you said that, off the top of your head right now, name 5 big men that were more talented.
Yeah, offensively, more.
No. Hey, now, Ron, y'all put this on this short. Since you said you ain't that quick to do it, you should be able to name 5 off the rip that was more talented. And I can give you one, and that's Jokic, just one.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that.
So Jalen, was he more talented than Shaq? As a 5-man on, was he more talented offensively than Shaq?
I'll take Shaq. So Shaq.
Okay,
Jokic.
you take Shaq. How about Chamberlain?
No. He was more talented than Shaq offensively.
But really? Shaq's dominance.
Hold on. Keep it real. Hold on, Jalen. Boogie can shoot free throws.
Don't forget
Boogie can hit the 3. Hold on. Boogie can shoot free throws. Shaq couldn't. Boogie could hit the 3. Shaq couldn't. Boogie can take niggas off the dribble. Shaq couldn't. Boogie hit you with the face up mid range.
Hold
Easy, brother.
I have seen Shaq in transition.
Don't do that.
I have seen Shaq. Shaq with the stutter step and the spin move in transition. I have seen that. Number 1. Number 2.
He was handling like Boogie. I think y'all are overdoing how Boogie was handling the ball. Boogie was not coming down as he. Boogie was not coming down as like
Boogie was turning the ball over a lot, by the way.
Hey, LeBron, give me the blick. Give me the blick.
Putting up 5 turnovers a game, I think.
What? You got a hand up for him.
I'm not saying Boogie couldn't handle, but young Shaq, a young Shaq,
I get you, young Shaq,
Orlando Shaq in transition.
We're talking about
transition. Yeah,
both of them in transition.
And Boogie wasn't doing that neither.
He was. Boogie was constantly catching on the ball.
Boogie was turning the ball over a lot when he was doing that shit, but that shit not that great.
Boogie on the blocks. Boogie was a turnover machine when he was in Sacramento.
He was a turnover machine in Sacramento. That's a fact.
You're talking about Boogie like he had a 5-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. He's stepping, throwing the ball in the stands. And by the way, since we're on the subject of him getting buckets, don't forget the fact that he was running with the league leader in assists in Rondo. So don't make it sound like he was the primary ball handler up there when he was in Sacramento, because he wasn't.
What cut it out, man. Like I said, hold on. My whole point to you was,
yeah, he was like
hold on. My whole point to you was throughout his whole career, throughout his whole career, Boogie was constantly able to take dudes off the dribble, easy, get to the bucket and get his own cup. And I'm talking about catching. Shaq was not doing that his whole career. Shaq did that, baby. He wasn't even doing it on a regular basis, bro.
It is.
Can we please? Hey, fellas, let's zoom out real quick. Please, everybody, let's just zoom out and like analyze what y'all are arguing. Y'all are arguing, was DeMarcus Cousins more skilled than Shaquille O'Neal?
More skilled.
Yes, he was. Shaq was dominant. He
was more dominant. Shaq was more dominant. Yeah.
Let's call it a spade. I'm not saying Shaq didn't have any talent, but Boogie definitely relied on some of his dominance as well. He definitely had some dominance to his game because his size, physicality. Yeah. But Shaq was just twofold when it came to dominance and physicality. Boogie relied on more skill to get to the basket to score
because he wasn't as athletic.
It is
because Boogie wasn't as athletic. I
am ready to hate on Derrick Rose, and we arguing about Shaq and DeMarcus Cousins.
Hey, we could.
Hey, you just kept the shit. I hope they put you on the short. I heard what you said, sucker. I heard what you said. I hope they put you on the short saying that, bro.
What did I say? Ticket?
Like Shaq was taking dudes off the dribble like Boogie was. Man, cut it out, man.
He was taking dudes off the dribble. We can go watch the film. I see him taking guys off the dribble, crossing over Jerome James.
Like Boogie seen him. Ron, you ever seen that, Ron? You ever seen Shaq doing it on a regular basis?
No, I definitely seen it from Shaq, but chill though. This is also what you gotta understand too.
No. Ron,
that's what
let's stay right here. I'm about to get to that. So you're saying, Ticket, that Boogie Cousins on a regular basis had the basketball 16, 17 feet away from the basket, and he's going after guys. That's what I'm asking you.
Chill, he did. He had the ball on a regular basis out on the perimeter.
Okay, all right.
He absolutely did. I wouldn't even go as far as saying his game was kind of centered around him catching it in the high post and going to work from there. But you know what, Ox, I want to ask you, as being a Sacramento Kings fan, what's your assessment of Boogie's game? And let's go back to the original question. Boogie, what was it? Boogie versus Embiid.
Right.
I mean, we talked about this. We talked about this before. You already know. I'll take peak Boogie over Joel. I want DeMarcus when DeMarcus was his last 2 seasons in SAC, and then that right before he tore his Achilles in New Orleans. I like him over Joel for sure.
I just got one question. Like, I think it's really unfair. Because if we just said, okay, let's just ignore everything Joel Embiid has done in the playoffs and compare their regular season campaigns, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But because we've seen Joel Embiid underperform in the playoffs, we have that vision in our mind when Boogie wasn't in the playoffs to underperform. Like I think this is kind of nasty.
That's not what I'm doing, Gifted. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at him as a hooper. I'm looking at him as a hooper, and I'm deciding if I want a team, I got a team. Who do I want? And I want DeMarcus.
Like really good skills and stuff, right?
I'm not saying one of those situations.
That's true.
Like,
but I don't think DeMarcus was that efficient for your team. Like, okay, sure, you can take people off the bounce, cool, but against playoff defenses, how many turnovers you think he would have? Right?
Hold on. It depends on who he's playing with too. Because hold on, you can say that about hold on, Gifted. You can say that about any player. You can say that about any player, right? So guess what? He would have been right around with, guess what? Him in his prime would have did the same thing AD did with LeBron. Boogie in his prime would have did the same thing AD in his prime. Boogie, you don't think LeBron?
Nowhere near the defenders. It's not close.
Hold on, Gifted. I promise you right now, let this lie. I'm gonna send you to the eye doctor and get your eyes straight. Check this out. You gonna sit up here and tell everybody right here watching this video that LeBron James couldn't have won a championship with a prime Boogie Cousins?
He was nowhere near the defender AD was. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
This man don't have
and I'll stand on that.
Ron, this man don't hate crack. Get him out of here, man.
Hey, all I want to say is we can definitely
wait. Are y'all gonna tell me DeMarcus Cousins is close to Anthony Davis at his peak defensively? Are we really doing that today?
No. We all
nobody said that.
Okay, but you guys do know the reason why they won is because defensively they were like that, and also AD had his best offensive performance in the playoffs. Are we gonna say DeMarcus Cousins with a straight face is gonna clear AD offensively to the point where it makes up for the defensive gap?
Let me ask you a question, Gifted. Let me ask you a question, Gifted. On that team, with the defensive bigs that you had in Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, that 2020 Lakers team still wins
this
the
is
championship.
nasty. Oh, this is real nasty.
That 2020 Lakers team.
JaVale McGee.
Hold on, bro. Let me finish my statement.
Okay.
You asked a question. Let me answer the question. If you take out Anthony Davis and insert DeMarcus Cousins in 2020, you still have Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee on the defensive end. You still win the championship. Yes.
You're cooked. You're absolutely cooked. No, they do not. You're cooked. Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. I wouldn't say
wait.
If I didn't mean it, I wouldn't say.
Hold on, Ox. The difference is AD could be on the floor with Dwight and JaVale McGee, so that
he could play with them. Yeah, right.
You're not putting
DeMarcus could too.
No,
oh my God.
This is 1972.
What are we talking about?
Y'all don't care about defense. Y'all do not care about defense to any level. Are y'all kidding me? Are y'all kidding me? You want to play DeMarcus Cousins with JaVale McGee as your front court defensively? Are you smoking crack?
Gifted. Hold on. If you're telling me today's NBA, you're putting DeMarcus Cousins and fucking Dwight Howard on the
They're getting cooked on the perimeter. What's wrong with y'all?
What are we doing?
Hey, I'm gonna give
You're
y'all.
good. No. Pause. I'm talking to Jalen. No, pause. I'm talking to Jalen. What the fuck you mean you good? What the fuck you mean you good? How are you good on the perimeter? You're getting baked on the perimeter.
You're talking about getting baked on the perimeter. DeMarcus Cousins, AD's perimeter defense, the gap isn't as big as their.
Whoa! The cap is crazy.
Hold on. Let him make his point. Let him make his point.
Anthony Davis is a better defender. Completely understand. He's a completely better defender overall than him.
Why is he a better defender? No. Break down why. Break down why for me.
Especially the rim protector, protecting the paint, blocking shots. He's better. But in the perimeter, DeMarcus Cousins can stay with smaller guys closer to what AD can do than you think. DeMarcus Cousins at the perimeter was still a guy that can move.
Put him in the ISO, Ron.
Now they're watching. You're not watching DeMarcus Cousins on the perimeter. Yes, he doesn't block shots like AD. He doesn't protect the rim like AD. But in the perimeter, as an agile big man, he can stay in front of guys just like AD can. AD's still getting cooked by a lot of perimeter guys. That's all we got to say.
Man,
I'm not gonna lie, Ron.
I know it's August because
Ron, make that shit a TikTok. Make that shit a TikTok. This man saying with a straight face, the perimeter defense is close. With a straight face. This is why I don't fuck with nostalgia. Because listen, I love Boogie, but we're not finna lie about his defense and say, oh, well, we think he's a better offensive player than Anthony Davis when they won the chip, and we also think that the perimeter defense is close enough. The gap on defense collectively, perimeter, interior, block shots, all of that in comparison to DeMarcus Cousins is tremendous. And the reason why that Lakers team won is because of their defensive identity with Anthony Davis and LeBron James being utilized as a roamer in their defense. That's why they won.
Hold on, Bob. I got it right now. Bob, I got him right now, dead to rights. So in 2016, 2017 for the Pelicans, when AD was leading that team, that was a year he played his most games. He played 75 games that season, right? And he also had Drew Holiday on that team as well as Eton Moore and those guys, right? That same year, they only won 34 games. Now, Boogie played 17 games that year because he got hurt, right? They only won 34 games with AD and his so-called defense, right? Why the next year when Boogie came back, they improved and won 48 games when Boogie came the next year and only played 48 games?
Because you got a better player on the team. That doesn't make sense, Ticket. Because you got the same guys plus a better player added to the team.
No. Hold on.
Chill. I don't want to do this, but they were.
Chill. Hold on. Chill. Peep what I just said. Chill. Peep what I just said before you lose your top. Those years before Boogie came, did he not have Drew Holiday?
He did. He had Drew
Holiday. I'm asking a question.
Yeah.
Was Drew Holiday one of the premier defenders in the league?
Yes, he was.
Okay, so why the hell was he getting the hell beat out of him every single year when you had two of the premier defensive players in the world on the same team?
Are you equating Drew Holiday as a defender? Are you equating him as an elite offensive player like James was?
Hold on, chill. Hold on.
Chill. If I speak, I'm in trouble.
I want you to listen. Hold on, Ron, chill. Listen to what I said. Hold on, chill. Listen to what I said, bro. Don't attack me because you want to attack me. Listen to what I said.
No, I'm listening.
Hold on. What I'm saying to you is this.
I'm listening.
Because that same team in 2015 only won 30 games. And guess what? They had dudes that could get buckets on that team on the offensive end. Plus they had AD. Plus they had the big dude Ryan Anderson who was shooting threes that could shoot the pick and pop, spread the floor. Plus, they had Drew Holiday on that team. And that team also had Eric Gordon, too. And they also had Tyreek Evans, who was putting up big numbers on that squad. So my whole point to you is this. Right. My whole point is why, if AD and those dudes were so gifted defensively, why were they so poor? And then AD's defense didn't take an uptick until we seen him go play with the Lakers. That's when we really saw the effect of his defense turn into wins. Because before then he was losing most of those years with the Pelicans he was losing. So what? Hold on. If you had two all league defenders on the same team, how the hell is they 30 games a year every year until Boogie shows up? When Boogie shows up, now they won 48 games, and that was a season Boogie only played 48 games. He could play more, they probably won 55 to 60 games.
Well, this the other thing.
And we start talking about AD as an all-world next level defender until he went and played with LeBron James. Because before then, we couldn't. Hold on. Before then, we couldn't. Hold on. Let me say this. And before then, everybody was saying Drew Holiday was a great defender because we saw what he did today, right? But at the same time, nobody was screaming all of these things you guys are saying now about AD. Nobody was screaming this when he was with the Pelicans, when he was supposed to be one of the best defenders in the world, but it didn't reflect. Even though he had other great defenders on his team, they still was getting torched. So what Gifted was saying about what Gifted was saying about AD's effect defensively. My whole point is when AD was the man and he had another dude who was an all-world defender on his team, and Drew Holiday, why the hell was they getting the hell beat out of him every single year?
And my response to that is that has nothing to do with that has nothing to do with the comparison of DeMarcus Cousins' perimeter defense to Anthony Davis' perimeter defense. This is going to be a tangent that takes us somewhere else. I want to respond directly to Jalen. Jalen, that is insanity. If you're comparing Anthony Davis's switchability on the perimeter to DeMarcus Cousins, it is not comparable at all.
That is not
something that people really take for granted. The year that they went the furthest, right? Remember, Drew Holiday, what he did today was absolutely insane, right? But Anthony Davis on the back line provided Drew so much more opportunity.
He dominated that series.
He dominated that entire series offensively as well.
He averaged 30 and 12 in that series. And by the way, to your point, which nobody brought up, just so you know who won Defensive Player of the Year that year?
Which year?
You know who was second in Defensive Player of the Year that year? It was Anthony Davis. So when we talk about a guy not being dominant as a defender, yes, he was. So that's not true. He was absolutely that.
I mean, I think
fellas, we got to move on. I can't
believe Jalen said that.
I do believe that a prime Bron and DeMarcus win a championship.
Last thing I'm wrong. We're not going to act like DeMarcus Cousins wasn't the best big man in the NBA those around those years. We're not going to pretend like he wasn't the best big man in the league.
I mean, this is probably the best.
You can make a legit argument.
Real quick.
The crazy part is this man.
It was kind of mid. I ain't gonna lie.
The thing about it is, like, so I'll start with that. DeMarcus Cousins was the best big man in the league, hands down. Second, I would say that you're right. The defense would if you replace those two, the defense takes a dip. Yeah, I don't think he's the perimeter defense Anthony Davis is, or the interior defender Anthony Davis is. I don't think he's a negative though. On top of that, I do think even he even wakes up the offense a little more because his ability to do way more on the offensive end than Anthony Davis. Why are you looking like that, Gifted? If you watch the basketball, I understand. I understand if you didn't see it. But what I'm saying,
I'm gonna let you talk.
Thank you for letting me talk. I believe that DeMarcus Cousins was that much better on the other end of the floor. That it's like no. They don't like it's not like they win in a better fashion or a worse fashion, but yeah, they still win. But me saying that you can replace him and win isn't saying anything as a knock to Anthony Davis. I hate when we do that. Like I'm not saying anything negative about Anthony Davis. All I'm saying is that DeMarcus Cousins was the best big man in the league, and if you put him on that team, they win too. That's not something that we have to have, get high blood pressure about. That's not something we jump all over.
I want to be clear on why the Lakers won. Okay, The reason why I'm mentioning
more than one way to skin the cat, Gifted. I know why they won. I know why they won.
Ox. I let you talk. Ox, I let you talk. I let you talk. I want to counter what you're saying.
Look, listen.
Ox, I just let you talk. I just let you talk. Okay, so if I got to let me go. If I got to let me go real quick.
Hold on. Calm down. What I'm saying is this, Gifted. We understand why they won. We don't need you to break everything down.
I understand what you're saying. I didn't cut you off, bro. Let me stop. Okay. Ox, come on.
Doing this little petty shit. You're gonna get your chance if you just relax, bro. What I'm saying is we understand why the Lakers won, Gifted. You don't got to go back through that again.
That wasn't my point. You're not even letting me make my point to cut me off, bro. I didn't cut you off. I let you say something.
What I'm saying is there's more than one way to win a championship, okay? There's more than one way to play basketball. We understand why they won. I'm saying they could have won a different way, bro. That's it, bro. I don't want to.
Can I make my point now?
Please do.
Yes.
Okay. So my issue.
You got to move on, Gifted. But go ahead. You got it.
Okay. My issue with this argument is the reason why the Lakers won the title is because when Anthony Davis was in that playoff run on both ends, was the most dominant player in the playoffs, okay? What he was doing on the offensive end in terms of converting his shots at the clip that he was, and the defense is why they won. The Lakers had the most versatile starting five because they could go small, and their version of small was with Anthony Davis and LeBron, where they didn't have to give up anything on defense. Sure, if you want to argue that DeMarcus would be at best a neutral defender, okay, but the difference is Anthony Davis was such a supreme plus. He was the best defender in the playoffs. That plus is what carried that roster over the top. And the fact that they weren't sacrificing anything offensively when he was literally putting up 30 a game in the playoffs on crazy efficiency, shooting nearly 40% from three on good enough volume, and he wasn't turning the ball over like that. He was the best play finisher in the playoffs as well. The balance between the dominance on offense and defense from Anthony Davis is why they won. At best, you're telling me DeMarcus would be dominant offensively, but he would not be dominant defensively. And to me, that is not enough to get through and win. In my estimation,
let me cook you real quick. He didn't have to be, because the one thing the Lakers did that you ignored is they also put great defenders around AD. They had guys who could rim protect like JaVale McGee. Hold on. I'm not finished yet. They had perimeter defenders on that team like Danny Green. So, and most of those guys, they had Alex Caruso on that team. So if you want me to keep cooking your ass three the hard way, I can cook you three the hard way. Hold on. They were just here yesterday saying that Alex Caruso was one of the top 25 defenders in the league, and that's what he was doing.
And AD is the anchor.
Hold on. The Lakers had one of the best defenses in the league that year. It wasn't just AD. It was because if it was just AD, the same defense would have held up the next year when they changed the broadcast around him, but it didn't. They got their ass whooped in the first round.
Defense. What are you talking about?
Hold on one second. My whole point to you is this: that team had put very good defenders around AD. JaVale McGee, a rim protector, who was eating a block.
Play with Anthony Davis. He's not doing shit without AD on the court. What are you talking about?
He was blocking shots and eating glass in limited minutes. JaVale McGee. Also, you had Danny Green, who played very solid perimeter defense. Let me finish. Who played very solid perimeter defense. Also, you had Alex Caruso, who was playing great full court pressure defense on the other point guards. Then you had Rondo, who gave you a few great minutes every single game, especially in the playoffs.
How many minutes did he play?
Hold on, especially in the playoffs, because if I'm not mistaken, Chilltown, Rondo was making a big defensive plays against the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs. Am I lying, Chilltown?
With Anthony Davis as the anchor, is that not right? Chill. Is it not fair that Anthony Davis being the anchor of their defense elevates everyone's play on that level? Is that not facts, Chill? Is that not facts?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry. Say it one more time.
Isn't it facts that Anthony Davis's presence on the defensive end when he's on the floor benefits the other defenders, because now your job remains a lot easier when you have a roamer and a guy who can plan himself and be switchable for you? He adds to the versatility of your defense, which maximizes the entire unit. Is that not true?
That is a fact.
So you're saying that if JaVale McGee is playing 10 minutes a game with Anthony Davis playing on the floor, he's raising their level. When Anthony Davis is off the floor, that defense is not the same. Nowhere close with those defenders. Why do you want to?
Hold on. Anthony Davis had an easier time being that rim protector, being the guy anchoring that defense. When you have guys like Danny Green, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Rajon Rondo in front of you defending. They're smart enough to know. They're going to get their defenders going towards Anthony Davis. They're smart.
No,
enough.
Jalen and
So you're making our point. So they're guiding the defense to Anthony Davis. So you're actually going to make my point for me. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, Jalen. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Jalen, make this last point, and we really got to move on. This is really the last point.
Himself right now.
What those defenders aren't getting beat off the dribble that easy. Those are all elite defenders. Again, Caldwell Pope,
elite defenders. All of them are just elite.
Caldwell Pope, Danny Green. Okay. Yes, they were elite defenders. They're not getting beat all the time.
KCP just helped another team win the championship.
They're smart enough to get beat in the right spots. Where these bigs can't help us. So I'm saying they helped Anthony Davis just as much as Anthony Davis helped them.
No, they didn't. That's cap. He just said some bullshit. There's no way he said that those defenders are benefiting the same. Are you serious? That's cap.
Hey, Ron, I'm gonna tell you like it is. KCP has been a starter. KCP has been a starter on multiple
I ain't never heard no crazy shit like that before in my life, bro. Ain't no way he said that.
KCP has been a starter on multiple championship teams.
Ain't no way Jalen said that.
Bro, this dude is all cap.
I'm not gonna let Jalen get off the hook and say that they benefited the same.
Here's the answer to your question, right? 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 And I'm gonna say it to you like this. KCP had been a starter on multiple championship teams, a defensive guy. Danny Green was a starter on multiple championship teams as a championship level guy. JaVale McGee has gotten burned as a defensive guy and one of the defensive anchors on multiple NBA championship teams, and he was doing it with the Golden State Warriors too. You sorry son of a snitch, and I'm gonna put my foot on your.
Because they had Draymond Green and Kevin. What are you talking about? Oh, my bad. Because they had another elite anchor in Draymond. What are we doing? Where's the logic in this conversation?
JaVale didn't help. JaVale wasn't blocking shots.
I never said he didn't help. You're gassing it to another level. What Jalen specifically said was that they benefit in the same way they do not. Anthony Davis significantly raises the level compared to what they raise the level to. That's fact.
Hold on, Gifted. I'm proving to you one thing. The only thing I prove to you is that AD didn't make those dudes. Those dudes were defensive guys in other places, and they did it without AD. Sucker.
Made them better to a championship level. What are you talking about?
Is nobody saying that he made them, Ticket, but he did make them better, which made their
defense better,
which caused them to win the NBA championship.
Hold on, You always trying to come against me, man. We're supposed to be the home team, man.
I'm not coming against you, Ticket. That's not what I'm doing.
He's supposed to be the home team.
I'm coming against this logic that Jalen is trying to sell me that Anthony Davis is an inferior defender on the perimeter to DeMarcus Cousins.
That's inferior. No one's ridiculous. It's not close either, though. It's also not close either.
You're trying to sit there and tell me that Anthony Davis is an inferior defender on the perimeter to DeMarcus Cousins.
We're moving on, okay?
That was bad. I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit was bad.
We're moving along.
Y'all watch the games. Don't just listen to ESPN. Watch the games for DeMarcus.
I don't think you watch the games at all, quite frankly.
Watch the games.
8 Gates Lee with the super chat said, Doc gonna make it worse. His voice sucks, and teaming up with Doris Burke is a terrible combo.
I actually like Doris Burke. I actually like Doris Burke.
Yeah, she's nice. Yeah.
I like Doris Burke. She know the game.
Andrew's gotta go.
Say it again, Ticket.
Is she thick?
Well, she a little, I don't know. She ain't like that.
No, she thick is crazy.
No, she ain't
I
like that.
heard Drake trying to holler at her, so she must have something.
She's like a mom.
He said, hear me out.
She's like a grandma type.
Yeah.
You one of them grandma fantasies, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly what she is. She actually is.
She got the goggles and everything.
Yeah, she's the 60-year-old grandma. She's the 55, 60-year-old grandma that you like. I might.
Right.
Are you saying she the anchor?
I might.
MP13 with the super chat said it's facts that it's glaring. It's factor that it's y'all gotta send better super chats. But it says it's factor that it's glaring obvious that when you have analysts, quote unquote analysts, that cover multiple sports, their overall points across the board become generic because the time needed to be effectively talk about one sport is too demanding.
That's very true. That's very true. It's really hard. You see, anytime Stephen A. Smith talks about football or tennis or golf, I always see he's definitely not as educated as he is in basketball. So.
He knows boxing, though. No. He does. He knows boxing. He knows boxing. He knows basketball. I think he knows football too.
Does he know boxing?
Football's a little bit like you get better, but
Yeah,
50-50.
he doesn't know boxing like he know
Football,
basketball, but he does know
Yeah.
boxing. I think he out of his league
I'm
in
not,
the UFC though.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm slightly questioning Stephen A. basketball IQ too, man. I done heard some crazy shit. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it's cool.
Man,
you know,
They paid $10 million.
entertainment.
Right?
Lonnie Williams said, I posted it in the chat, but thoughts on Orlando donating to political campaigns? Teams backing candidates sounds like a slippery slope.
Well, not just political campaigns, Lonnie. I mean, talk about it what it really is. They donated $50,000 to Governor DeSantis for him running for the president. This is the same Governor DeSantis who made a rule in the state of Florida to completely eliminate undocumented workers. And that's driving the economy down in the state of Florida. So stuff like that matters when you're talking about moving forward with teams.
It matters, but I guess, the whole free speech, free country thing, they're allowed to do it. Come off of people, do what you want. Even though I don't agree with Ron DeSantis, but hey, all the power to you, Magic.
Right.
You believe in him?
I mean, I live in Florida, so it's
no. Yep.
he's not
He's
not as
popular.
popular.
Like, he's very popular
yeah.
there, isn't he? He's very popular there. Yeah,
but he's not as popular as people think he is.
Okay. I see.
Mm-hmm.
It's your boy with the super chat. Said, what year does sports media start to fall off in y'all's opinion? People from their own sports started their own things, has put pressure on ESPN, etc. For example, I like baseball, and in my opinion, there's plenty of channels for that now.
I think in
When
2000,
when Stuart Scott passed away.
I was thinking around the middle of the 2010s, but Stu, yeah, you're right, Ticket, because Stuart Scott was
That's what Gifted looked like. He looked like Stuart Scott.
like a dark skinned Stuart. Yeah, he do. That's for real. He like a dark skinned version of Stuart Scott. I can see that.
Scott was that dude. Hey, chill. Stuart Scott had them sayings too. He had a whole bunch of different little sayings.
I say that all the time. My grandmother had Walter Cronkite. My mother had Ted Koppel. I had Stuart Scott. He was, when I was watching SportsCenter specifically for Stuart Scott, he was going to give me the news.
I think the growth of the internet and social media really kind of hurt these sports shows and
100% on that.
Because now people just have more platforms to look at.
Mm-hmm.
People have other ways to put out their own opinions. Before it was you had to go to TSN or Sports Network to watch highlights. Now you go on YouTube, Twitter, whatever. You can get your information so many different places. It was bound to happen eventually. And now all these athletes starting their own platforms. That's nothing. Before they would just go to ESPN, give me the check, they would do their thing. But now they realize, okay, hey, we can have complete ownership of what we do. We have no handcuffs of what we can say, and they have freedom of what they want to talk about. So
I think for me, bro, when I came to basketball, I started to watch basketball later. My dad is from Africa, so like I grew up playing soccer. I was not used to watching television for sports because my dad was always like, why would you watch them talk about sports when you could play sports? That was always like my mindset. But then when I joined like the track team, all my friends would say, you gotta watch. So I would tap in. And then as you evolve from like a casual person to like really watching the games, and like then you're seeing like, wait a minute, he said this on TV, but that's not true because I watched the game. He's not really correct about it. You start to like get more and more detached because it goes from being something that's like lighthearted fun and like can show you some things about the game to not accurate about the game. And now I just don't even like think about any of these networks outside of when you maybe see posts from them on TikTok, Twitter, whatever. So like it's kind of like dying in terms of the technology, but also like as you progress from a casual to someone who watches the games a lot, you don't really need these networks as much to understand what's going on.
Yeah. And David Estello, just so you know, this is actually a basketball show. We throw other stuff in. That's what we do around here. We do talk basketball. The majority of the stuff we talk the majority of the time we talk basketball. We don't talk about basketball nearly enough. That is not true. In fact, that's why you hear because we talk basketball. So get your story straight when you talk about us.
It's like 80-90% basketball.
Speaking of other sports that we talk about, Thickest Pilot said, I grew up on Chris Berman, Boomer, on SportsCenter talking football. I was just a kid with my big bro, and it was educational and fun. ESPN's golden era has passed.
Hold on, that's the man?
What?
That's a man?
What's a man?
Man, Chris Berman.
Nah, Thickest Pilot. That's a man?
Ticket,
No, because he said he in the message. I thought it was a woman the whole time, man.
Thickest.
It could be a woman, you know what I'm saying?
Never know.
Sometimes
He said I was just a kid with my big bro.
Yeah. You can watch. You
Hey,
can watch. You can watch sports. You can watch sports with your
You
little
a man
sister.
or a woman? Nah, because I ain't never heard of no dude call himself thick as pilot. Like, I'm thinking that's a woman. I thought this whole time, every time Ron read the super chats, I'm thinking
My
of this
fault,
thick
David.
ass.
I thought you were
I'm
talking
thinking
about
of
our
thick
show.
ass
My
chick
fault.
that's
I thought
flying
you
the
was
plane.
talking
I'm
about
thinking of a
our
thick
I mean,
ass pilot.
thick it is. It's more than
My
one
fault.
way to
It's not
describe
chill, it's
thick.
hilarious.
It could be thick like
I
low.
thought you was
know
talking
what?
about our
Maybe
show.
like thick.
Nah,
thick
Ron, that's
biceps.
crazy.
Ron,
Thick
y'all talking
biceps
crazy.
and
It's a little thick.
Oh no!
Ron
Hey,
talking
but-
crazy with that one. I ain't gonna
Hey, but
cap. That's
Thick
I thought you was
pilot,
talking about our show.
appreciate you.
When I read the
Appreciate
chat, it said they don't even talk about basketball anymore. I thought you was talking about this show, David. I apologize.
yeah, nah, he meant
Hey, Ron, have you
Yeah,
ever seen
yeah.
a
other
thick
shit.
photo, Ron? A shorty, a thick pilot?
you. What? Hey, Ticket, I travels country to country. All right. Hey, we could
Seen it
talk
all,
about
seen it all.
Turkish Airlines. Whew,
Mm.
Turkish Airlines, boy, oh boy. Hey, we could talk about
Brazil?
a lot. I done flew on a lot of carriers.
Man, you crazy as hell, man.
Raw with the super chat said it goes to show how much this LeBron versus Jordan convo has been carrying sports media over the last 15 years.
American sports media, yes, that's been the primary topic for the past 15 years, you could say.
NJ Dre 1804 said Shannon was the X factor for FS1, hence why ESPN wants him. He appeals to quote unquote the culture way more than Stephen A. Hence his rapper interviews.
He's just more he's more relatable, and it just seems more authentic with that's why they call him because it just seems more relatable with Shannon. Shannon looked like the dude that if you seen him in the street, you could talk to him. Just come to him the right way. Don't come to him out of bounds. No.
I'm not gonna lie, Shannon and Stevie A would kill my eardrums though, man, because they both not finna back down. Like
I would like
every
Shannon
day.
and JJ Redick. I think Shannon and JJ Redick as a parent.
That would be cool.
That's not bad. That's not bad actually.
Not bad.
We got a new member, DW.
D-Dub, what up, brother? Welcome to the show.
Random Guy Speaks. He was on the show yesterday. Shout out to Random Guy Speaks. He said, don't forget the outside factors that affect ESPN. All the bad content Disney is making, among other stuff, and those things have consequences. Remember, ESPN isn't high on the totem pole for Disney, so they pay some of the price.
That is fair. And having stuff like Disney Plus or ESPN Plus, and like ain't nobody care about that.
That shit with Disney, though, I read a report they lost like $800-900 million in their movies, so they got to make it up somewhere. So sometimes
They lost some bread, yeah.
A lot of bread.
Let's debate basketball said how many times DeMarcus led the team to the playoffs. I'll wait.
That's kind of nasty though because the roster construction was not great.
Exactly.
I wouldn't go that
How
far.
many times did you let this team to the playoffs? And now you answer that question.
Yeah, that's not fair. That's not fair. Like I hate when people do that because sometimes you can criticize players, sure, but people really have to value roster construction in basketball a lot more. Those Kings teams never had great talent around him to be in that position. That's nasty. I wouldn't really do that. But
Hey, well, I'm gonna say this one thing too, and I'm gonna leave it like this. I ask y'all this. Isaiah was on the rise at that time. They wasn't figuring it out. He was a bench player. He went to Boston and got hurt. Do y'all think the little Isaiah Thomas could have led the Celtics to win the chip that year if he didn't get hurt?
No.
Little Isaiah? No, I don't think he could have.
No.
I think so. The way he
what
was
year was
playing,
that again? What year was that again?
Isaiah
Nigga, that was
Thomas.
a year. That was a year. Nigga, that was a year. He was
17.
Is
That was
that
year
2018? 28?
Yeah, like 27,
17.
28 points a game.
That was
Oh,
the
okay,
year they
okay.
lost. That was the year they lost to LeBron in the conference finals when Isaiah didn't play.
Oh, that yeah. Right.
His sister got killed in the car crash.
Yeah.
Oh, he
walking
was so
through
good that
everything.
year.
Hey, Philtown, he was
He
walking
was
on
so good
water
that
in
year.
playoffs, bro.
Yes.
Bro, this dude was out here dropping 50 balls. He was a little
52.
engine that could.
Yeah. Yes.
Speaking
I
of
think he was
Isaiah
a great
Thomas-
player. Oh, sure.
Speaking of Isaiah
Yeah.
Thomas, this weekend, me and my man Ox happen to be playing in Isaiah Thomas's annual basketball tournament. It's called the
Okay.
Zeke. It's here in Seattle and specifically Tacoma. You know, if you know Isaiah Thomas, he's from Tacoma. And he throws a tournament out there every year. Well, we're going to be out there with the cameras out, mic'd up, playing against, whoever happens to be in the tournament. Every year, Isaiah Thomas, he brings, a couple NBA players. Obviously, Seattle's a bed of NBA talent. So last year, if you remember last year when DeJounte Murray and Paolo Banchero was getting into it, it was in that tournament. So I'm assuming Paolo going to be there, DeJounte going to be there, Jamal going to play, Nate Robinson, Isaiah's obviously going to play. Dudes like Kyle Kuzma have played in the past, Jordan Poole, Tickets boy Kelly Oubre, a bunch of dudes. They come up here every year and play in this. So be on the lookout for that film and be on the lookout for we'll see what I could do against other NBA players, and we'll see if Ox can make his layups this weekend.
Ron, one thing about Isaiah, and I'm gonna say this: I'm gonna always have a disdain in my heart for the Celtics for at least not bringing that dude back in the bench.
I agree. Yep.
They did
everything that Isaiah gave that team. Everything he gave that team for the GM, who was the coach at that time, and now you the GM. For that dude to have put that team on his back, and you know what he did for you at that time, because y'all went to the conference finals. For you not to even give him
played through injury too.
If you not to give him a bench job on that team after everything he sacrificed, all he wanted was a bench spot. He ain't asked to come back, be no starter, none of that. That was disgusting, bro. Isaiah put it all on the line, and that's the one thing that I can always look at and say, you know what? When guys like Dame, when these guys ask out, that's the one thing I say Gifted and those guys got, because I watched what Isaiah Thomas put on the wood and that during that season to try to get it all done for that team. He tried to put it all out there, his whole heart on the table for him. He did everything for the franchise, and they turned it back on him, and he still wanted to come back, and they still didn't accept the man back, even in a lesser role, even in a Udonis Haslem role. They wouldn't bring him back. To me, that's disgusting, and I think that Isaiah Thomas should be allowed to go out in the NBA in the way he wants to go out. At least being a bench guy and a guy who can help a team in the locker room, give you a couple minutes here. The Boston Celtics, y'all should be doing.
And they damaged his reputation too. Ticket. They damaged his reputation because now he was damaged goods at that point. At that point, he was damaged goods, and nobody really wanted.
They cost
I feel bad because I
$150
think it was the right move. Like I think them trading for Kyrie was the right move. It's just so bad based on what he did all the way for that franchise.
Right.
I agree with the move, but like it's an emotional layer to that you can't really move, because his sister died, and then in the playoffs he played through that.
He had no business on the court.
Played through that. He had no business. He played through all of that and dropped 50 points. Like,
he had no business out there.
He never got paid. He never got that big contract.
Ron, I'm sorry to go off, but he did everything that Kawhi and refused to do. He did that. Like when he got hurt and he knew he wasn't supposed to be playing, he gave it to him, bro. I have a problem. Hey, Bob, that shit don't sit right with me, bro. I got a problem with that, man. Because that man laid on the line, Bob. He laid on the line. He knew he was messed up bad, Bob, on his hip. Knew he was messed up. He still went out there later because he was trying to win a chip, and they did the man like that, bro.
That's why I'm saying. You sacrifice your body, and now what it means is so that they made the trade. Y'all say they messed up his money. He shouldn't have been playing. You know
he shouldn't have played.
You got to remember he's severely undersized. I love Isaiah Thomas. I love his game. You know what I'm saying? I love.
That's what you say. We might play against their team this weekend.
I'm not watching.
You're not gonna have to go.
Well, look, I still got to keep it real. That's my obligation to the people. My obligation to the people is to say how I really feel about the situation. I don't feel like Isaiah Thomas should have been playing if he knew he was hurt. You know, I understand. Maybe with the tragedy with his sister. Maybe he just wanted to maybe honor her and play through that, so I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? That's admirable. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not obviously in a situation like that. You got every right to go home. You know what I'm saying? So for him to play through that was great. But he shouldn't have been on the court if he knew he was hurt. You can't for Ticket. I understand what you're saying. Maybe they should have looked out for him, but this is business, and that sounds like sentimental money to me. Like
I'm saying coming back. I'm saying at this point now. Do everything.
I mean, but I don't know. Kenny, he's still 5'8". You know what I'm saying?
I don't even think he's talking about his game. I just think he means on the team period as like a veteran player.
It's like what Udonis had.
It's been other teams that are giving him a shot just to come on and be a bench guy, give you a couple minutes. The Celtics, the team he laid it on the line for.
They never did that.
That's the problem I had, Bob, is that you had other teams that was.
I feel that 100%.
Like, come on, bro. Like
he can't even sign like a random two-way contract or something like that. Like I
feel that 100%. But I don't think he wants that though. I think Isaiah Thomas got more pride than that. I think
he wants to play. He wants
he said it. Because to me now I know he's not no charity case. I know he's standing on his own, but you know what I'm saying? Like that sound like offering him charity. And I think Isaiah Thomas is above that. I don't think he want no pity party. Like, yo, if you're not gonna play me, I'm not gonna sit on your bench. Like I think he want to play ball. I'm actually surprised he hasn't gone, maybe gone overseas and got one of those fat contracts. So that makes me think, is his health good enough to play a whole season?
He said
I just want to know real fast, by the way,
or what?
This is why the star players, right? This is why almost every star player, anytime you hear Boston is trying to trade, that's why they don't want to go to Boston, because these players are not forgetting about what happened to
that stuff
him.
Resonates. Sure it does.
It resonates with the players for sure.
Yeah. They pushed out Jamal Crawford too, and I thought that was whack. But Jamal could have had one more year in the league to go out just as
he dropped 50 points in his last game, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Man, that nigga you doing the real ones like that. You doing the ones that really want to be out there. But then y'all rewarding the dudes that want to take people money and not get on the court and play, man.
I think that's a big problem with the NBA. Like, they're all moving.
No, he's talking about the last year. He's talking about the last year that Jamal Crawford was in the league.
I don't like what the league is at in terms of how they're moving off of veteran players. I think that's really whack to me, because you need veteran players in your locker room to like help the young guys usher themselves into the NBA. They're losing that.
That's a fact.
Imagine if Crawford was over with Memphis. None of that stuff happens with Ja Morant.
That would have been perfect. That would have been
none of it. Yeah. None of that shit. Chill town. None of that shit happened with Ja Morant if Jamal Crawford's on that roster. Because you know what Jamal Crawford does? He goes and pulls him over and says, "Come here, young fella. We're not finna do that." You know why?
That's why I like D Rose over there now.
Right. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, D Rose over there would have been.
They got D Rose
Ticket, and we can move on, Ron. But real quick, but to Ticket's point, you saw what happened in Miami when Udonis Haslem and Jimmy Buckets got into it. Like, it was over right there. But you never heard nothing else about that. And not only did you not hear nothing else about that, you ain't heard nothing else about nobody else getting into it. Because when he talks, you listen, and you need that. That's necessary on your crew.
For sure, he here for a reason.
All right, y'all. Roosevelt Robinson said, "I was at DreamCon. That ish was lit."
I don't know what that is.
Did you, Roosevelt? Did you see Damo? NJ Dre 1804 said, "Gifted looks like Vince Staples. It's uncanny."
I get that comment a lot. I get that comment a whole lot. Yeah.
Or Vince Gifted.
I gotta go look up Vince Staples.
Yeah,
I don't know who Vince Staples is.
I be getting that a whole lot. He's a great artist. Great artist.
Vince Staples.
He's like 5 different people, man. He look like man, like Sheldon Williams.
I see that.
Northside Long Beach, man. Yep.
Hey, man.
Hey, guys, real quick.
I feel bad for Sheldon Williams, dog. Sheldon Williams was doing cool until he found out his wife liked other women. No, I ain't gonna say that. Go ahead.
That's tough. Real quick, Ron. I gotta bounce, but I will be tapping in to hear the conversation on D Rose. I appreciate the opportunity to come up here on the panel. It's always a pleasure to talk basketball with you guys. Jalen, we're gonna have to talk at some other place about that AD shit, because listen, I'm still on that. I'm still on that.
It is not over. This is not over.
I'll be there.
You are not.
Listen,
that's like somebody swinging on. That's like somebody swinging on you and then walking away. You think this over? No, this is not over, y'all.
I don't have any more off days this week. Every day I work from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. But the times that I'm free, I love to try to come on and talk hoops with you guys.
Ron, they said this nigga look like Adrian Peterson.
Now I'm dip out on that.
Before you leave, next time you come up here, remind me. Next time you come up here, I want to ask you all these D Rose comps, and it'll probably just be you. But at the start of the next show you come on, I'm gonna ask you, and I want to hear who you think D Rose is better than.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, shout out to Players Choice and all of the support that I have been having. Again, like, I started out as a small content creator. On, I believe, July 2nd, I had 500 subscribers. I'm now at 1,000, and I'm trying to really continue to work myself up in this space. So I appreciate all of you guys for the work that you guys do. Claire, Ron, and all of the other people behind the scenes who make Players Choice what it is. But I do got to bounce. So I'll catch you guys. Have a great basketball combo.
All right, holla to AP.
All right, Staples. All right, another super chat from Ticket's favorite. Thickest Pilot 9 said, "Please cook Dubs Magic Take. He would kill today."
Oh my God.
Dubs Magic Take.
I don't even know why. No, I don't. I no.
Get into it.
You guys
don't want to.
The Magic Johnson today.
Yes, not Orlando Magic. No, we're talking about Magic Johnson. He thinks Magic Johnson. We actually, Ron was there. We actually had a conversation at Players Choice. I mean, at PC Weekend, where this dude is trying to sell us that Magic Johnson would get destroyed in today's game, considering how wide open considering how wide open the game is, how fast he played, the athlete that he was, he would get destroyed in today's game. Oh my God!
I don't think he get destroyed, but to Dub's point, I think Dub was just saying the point how his lack of shooting ability would hurt him as defenses will fall
Which
back on
the
him.
idea of it being a lack of shooting. Okay, just so you know, Magic had a mid-range game. Magic could keep the defense honest. So it wasn't like Magic was Ben Simmons. He was not that.
Yeah. Is there a player comp to Magic today that we can really look at? Or no, there's just nobody.
No.
Player comp to Magic. There's nobody.
Nope.
Exactly. Yeah. So I hear that.
Raw said also players are creating their own content.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. That's fact.
Raw with the back-to-back super chat said first take went down after Skip left.
False. They've been first place ever since Skip left.
Number one.
Yeah.
That's not true.
I thought Calaman was great. I thought Calaman was knowledgeable too, but
he was trash. He was dry, but they went down. They went down after Skip left. I mean, they went up after Skip left, and Undisputed has been losing to them every week since Skip been over there. So Skip is overrated, bro.
Let me ask y'all something. Like, let me ask y'all this real quick. So that the previous super chat about the players creating their own content. Now, first, let me just say this. You know, I'm happy with everybody getting money. I'm happy with people being able to own their own content. You know, be their own boss, do their own thing. You know, expand past basketball and sports in general. You have to have something after you retire. A lot of people go broke. I'll say that, and I understand that. But is it kind of like is that bad business? Is that bad business? The players get the players looking to kind of run the media game, because it's like, are they stepping on toes? Like, is it like a healthy relationship where, like, look, let us do our job, y'all do your job. Y'all know we criticize you, but that's how we feed our family. Y'all play. We not coming to tryouts trying to get on the team, but y'all jumping into our lane. Is that kind of fucking up?
I don't think it's bad business, Ox. And the reason why I don't think it's bad business is because you're creating a narrative about me. When you're talking about getting on the basketball court and coming to tryouts, well, can you play? It's not like I'm trying to keep you out or I'm telling everybody, yo, you suck. No, you can't play and you don't come out here. Well, you as a media personality, you as a television personality, you're creating a narrative about me. I should be able to, number one, defend that if it's wrong. I should be able to create my own content and let the people decide who they see, as opposed to what you're creating about me. If you're putting it out about me that I'm this, when that's not true, and a lot of this stuff is narrative driven, I should be able to defend that and go, wait a minute, this is who I am. And if I have the platform to do that, then more power to me.
From that standpoint, I can see it from that standpoint.
And one more thing really quickly, and Ticket can attest to this. How many times, Ticket, did you read the paper or hear somebody say something about you and go, wait a minute, I didn't say that. No, I did not say that. This is what I said. And now that we have the opportunity to say what we actually mean, and I think it's more beneficial to athletes to be able to do that.
No, yeah, I definitely think it's beneficial. I'm just saying, you know how sometimes in the industry it's kind of like, you know, you got to stay on your side of it. Let me stay on my side of it so that we can all continue to feed our family. Because if y'all jump over here, obviously you're the talent, so the people are going to come see the talent. So if you come over to my side of our industry, because we're all in this together, no matter how we look at it, sports media and the sports players, they're in the same industry. So if y'all come over here and bring the talent to our side and y'all washing us out, so how do we feed our families? You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all, you know what I'm saying? That's the only way I'm looking at it.
I don't think ESPN of them like it, but they understand the situation. Like, even what they did with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson's show, they were doing their own thing, but they paired up with Showtime. So they always see a lot of that. They're going to see a big podcast, whatever, be like, hey, we'll give you this amount of money. Let's partner up. Kind of go from there.
Yeah.
Jalen, you need to be a broadcaster.
Say what?
You need to be a broadcaster. You got that talent. That you one of those guys that you got the it factor. I appreciate it.
Shout out Jalen Carter. Angie Carter said, "Can only be on the top for so long. TNT, the exception."
Well, no, that's not true. If you continue to reinvent yourself, you can be. You know what I'm saying?
That's it right there.
That's the thing about it. You got to be able to continue to reinvent yourself. You know, And
Ticket, are you the same dude today? Ticket, are you the same dude today that you was 5 years ago?
No, well, mentally, I mean, I'm gonna bring it the same way, but mentally, I think differently.
Right.
Hey, cut your ass up, dude. Mentally, I think different. Mentally, I think different than what I thought 5 years ago. You know, when you mature and you think differently about different things, man. You know what I'm saying? Your mind is in a different space. Like, I'm gonna give you one quick example. I'll let it go. Like, when I was young, I used to think it was cool to tease kids that had bobos. Now, I don't laugh at stuff like that. That stuff ain't funny to me no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not cool no more. So if I see kids teasing other kids, I'd be like, yo, that's not cool, because, you know what I'm saying, you never know that kid's situation. When you were young and immature, you didn't understand that. You just clowned them and whatever. You never thought about what they may be going through, what they didn't have. One day you might go through that same situation. So, you know, your mind changes as you grow and mature.
That's fair to keep reinventing yourself, because if people see you the same way year after year after year after year, well, somebody's going to come along and give something different, and people love variety. So if you keep just giving them the same thing over and over again, eventually they're going to get turned off to you.
I do think TNT, they found, you know, a golden gem with the Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, Ernie, that combination, adding Shaq. You know, that's definitely something that once Charles leaves, I think everyone realizes it won't be the same. And he's talked about, you know, eventually retiring. But yeah,
he ain't gonna retire. He ain't got nothing else to do, so he ain't gonna retire.
They're paying him a ton of money.
All he's gonna do is go play golf and chill. Yeah. And listen, we're gonna be at that level in some point in time in the future. We just going through the initial process of putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I told Bob hit me up one day. Let me tell y'all a quick story about Bob. Y'all see me and Bob going at it all the time. Bob hit me up one day. Bob was like, yo, Ticket, man, I don't got the following you got, dog. I'm not, I said, yo, don't never talk like that, dog. I said, because I wanted Bob to think about something. Like, if you go to Bob's channel, Bob got over 1,000 subscribers now, right? So Bob gets a video that gets 600-700 views. How many people on planet Earth you know can get 600-700 people to listen to something you got to say right now?
Not many.
Not a lot.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just the initial steps. And that's why I was telling Bob, like, don't never think like that, bro. Because you put yourself, everybody got a different purpose. So once you start building, because I know some people that can't get two people to listen to them. You know what I'm saying?
You see
Ain't nobody listening to you.
Subs. You see ESPN's account sometimes with million subs. They go live. They get 200-300 people. At Players
right.
Here, we got 100,000 subs.
That's fact. And Bob can do that right now on his channel going live. One time I went live I saw Bob going live in the middle of the night. He's doing a late night show. This dude got 200-some people in the room. Yeah, and a chat room full of people talking. I'm like, damn, this nigga, I just went and hopped on with him. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm talking about, bro.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. They listening. They definitely listening.
Yes, they are.
Next super chat from TC the Don said, Damo, did you see my man's DreamCon booth? God punch. Damo should be back up here soon. Actually, waiting for Damo to bring his black ass back up here so we can go ahead and do this D Rose list. When he comes, I'll reread that super chat to him, and we'll see if he's seen the booth, my man. Random Guy Speaks says, sorry, I'm a little behind on the stream.
You caught up now.
Honcho 2K said Hero or Maxey. I got Hero.
Hey, I hate that though, right? You know when you catch somebody's stream, like when one of y'all go live, like for instance, if I catch you go live, chill or Ticket, if I catch one of y'all shows, and then it's like I'm not gonna watch it from behind, like I'm just gonna fast forward because the when I'm watching don't match up with the chat. So I'm not gonna do this. Like I'm all out the loop. I can't even talk with y'all. I gotta miss whatever I missed. You know what I'm saying? I gotta fast forward.
Next super chat. No. This same one right here. Hero or Maxey? What we doing?
I think Maxey's a better scorer, but Hero I think is a better playmaker and passer. And I think his scoring is still closer to Maxey than Maxey's playmaking.
Maxey's more reliable. You got a bigger upside. More reliable.
You say more upside. I think Hero might have peaked.
You take away that three ball from Hero. What can you do?
I mean,
he still get pressure.
He can still get to the rim.
What type of player is Hero? You take away that three ball.
Even if you kept the three ball, I think the athleticism from Maxey is the separator because he does a lot of the stuff that Hero does. I just think he's a better athlete.
You don't think the passing and playmaking can be a separator for Hero?
No, because I think Maxey is a better passer and a better playmaker. The fact that he hasn't really been, I don't think he's had an opportunity, opportunity that Hero has had. I mean, Hero as a rotation player, Hero comes off the bench and they turn him loose. Maxey hasn't been turned loose yet. So we haven't really. We've only seen as good as he's been. We've only seen a small sample size of him.
But we've seen more of what Hero can do.
I know. So at the beginning of this conversation, I was like, I think I got Hero. But when I look at it this way, I know Jimmy Butler would love to have a healthy Tyrese Maxey.
He would love Maxey.
Like last year, a healthy Tyrese Maxey on that team.
Yep.
But a healthy Tyler Hero though too. A healthy Tyler Hero.
I feel that too. Like, but we had the conversation with a healthy Tyler Hero actually made them more competitive in the finals. And I was saying I think if you have Tyler Hero, it at least goes to 7, if not win. If they got Tyrese Maxey playing at the level that he was playing, I think that's a big difference. So with that being said, I think I might take Maxey over Hero. When I look at like who would I rather play with. You know what I'm saying? Like from that,
keep in mind though, Hero is Jimmy's boy. Jimmy loves Hero.
Yeah, I'm talking about just on the court though. Like if we take
on the
like
court too though. He
but I'm
so vouch for Hero. Like no, Hero's our guy. Hero about to go to work this year.
So like let's
with him in the offseason. He was letting everybody know like no, Hero next up. Hero about to be the one.
Yeah, but I'm saying like let's like switch him out, but not trade him. Like so, let's say we had Tyrese Maxey on the team, but Tyler Hero was never there. So now it's like Jimmy's looking at it like I only had Hero. Like I think he would feel the same way about Maxey. Like if he doesn't have to compare him to Hero, you know.
Hey, that Heat team with Maxey on it would be crazy.
Yeah, they so much faster too.
ASAP Henny said, "What players do you guys think are overrated or overhyped?"
Luka Doncic.
I mean, I think Victor at this point, just with the hype, we'll see how he turns out.
FIFA boy, did you hear me? I said Luka Doncic.
Luka's my betting pick for MVP next year. I'll say that.
It's easy to bet with Luka.
No, he's not going to win. He's not going to win MVP. It's going to be a guy like Giannis or somebody who wins 65, 70 games. So you got to remember, they going off those wins now. So teams that are going to be winning the most games, I don't see Luka winning enough games. Like if you in the 65 games and Giannis going to be averaging 30, it's going to be hard to hold them dudes back from winning MVPs, man.
Winning matters, but we also know the narrative matters. So I think if Dallas can be a top 3 seed in the West,
I don't think so.
Which they not.
They might not.
You think they're going to be a top?
No.
I see being a 6 seed getting in.
That's fair.
I don't think that's enough to win MVP no more.
Well, we're not going to wait for Damo anymore. We're just going to go ahead and get into it. When he gets here, he can give us his takes on who he thinks is better at a D-Rose and the guys that I have in the field. So we just going to start from the top, all right? From the top, the first guy I'm going to say is, and now when we're talking about Derrick Rose, we're obviously talking about prime Derrick Rose. It's up for you guys' interpretation. What I would say prime Derrick Rose would be, well, his MVP season, 2011, when he was 22 years old and won the league MVP over, the likes of LeBron James and other guys. You guys can interpret it how you would want to as prime D Rose. And, we're just going to go ahead and get into it. But the first guy that I have on the list is Derrick Rose versus Ja Morant. Who do you guys think is better? We're going to go around the room. I'm going to ask each of you guys, and you tell me who you would take, Derrick Rose or prime Ja Morant. Jalen, I'm going to start with you.
I'm going to go with Derrick Rose's MVP season over any season Ja Morant had. I think him just kind of being one of the only offensive guys on that team, creating shots for his teammates. He did a better job of that, getting to the rim. And I think he's a better finisher at the rim, too. So give me Derrick Rose.
Okay. Ox.
For some of the same reasons that Jalen just stated, I'll take Derrick Rose as well.
Chill.
Derrick Rose, I think he was a better leader. I think he was better on the defensive side of the basketball with what he had to work with, the player that he was, even in the clutch, the way he was in that regular season, that MVP season, he was fantastic. I would take Derrick Rose over Ja Morant.
Take it.
D Rose, man. It's an easy
Okay.
self-screen, bro.
All right. Derrick Rose clears any version of Ja Morant. All right, let's get into it. We got Derrick Rose versus Steve Nash. Who are we taking? Jalen Carter.
Yeah, give me Steve Nash here all day, every day. Just the shooting ability, the mid-range, creating for his teammates. Steve Nash's prime, one of the greatest offensive players of all time. The efficiency. You're talking about a guy with the 90-40, 50 splits. I think had a couple of those seasons. Dude was just incredible. So I'm giving Steve Nash over Derrick Rose.
Ox.
So when we rank the point guards and we just rank, you got to rank their whole careers. I rank Nash above Derrick Rose.
We talking
But
peak. Yeah, go ahead.
But I want Derrick Rose. I think Derrick Rose. So on those Phoenix teams, I don't think you had to be as good as at facilitating as Steve Nash was. I think Derrick Rose on those Suns team actually win. So
I was just gonna say that too, Big Ox. If you put Derrick Rose on that Phoenix team, how fast they were playing, how wide open that offense was, how awesome would he be? He would be awesome. But I think the separator is Steve Nash, the facilitator that he was, how he got, because Derrick Rose was more of a score-first point guard. So I don't think Stoudemire would have been as good. I don't think Sean Marion would have been as good. I don't think a lot of these guys would have been as good running with Derrick Rose as Steve Nash would have been. So if I think about Steve Nash and how important he was to that Phoenix offense, I think he was a little bit more. I think he was more important to what they were doing. So if I had to take the two of them, I'm going with Steve Nash.
My thing is this, Chitchat. I definitely think that Steve Nash is a better facilitator than Derrick Rose. I honestly don't think it's comparable. But on that team, the way they were running the floor, I don't think you needed to be that good at facilitating that Steve Nash was. Like I think a lesser point guard as far as dishing the rock, I think you can be a lesser point guard in that aspect and still that team could still run fine. So that's my main reasoning. Like go ahead.
Well, when I think about a guy like James Harden and in some of his best distributing years, they was with Mike D'Antoni. Derrick Rose, not really the passer that any of those guys were. And don't get me wrong, he did play in a more condensed offense. But even if he did play wide open, and he was a score-first guard who played with a lot of guys who could score the basketball. You know, Carlos Boozer was an 18 a game guy. Luol Deng was a 17 a game guy. I'm trying to imagine Steve Nash running with Luol Deng. What does that 17 a game look like in a more wide open offense? What does Carlos Boozer look like running with Steve Nash? What does that 18 a game look like? I think that looks a lot better running with Steve Nash because he is more of a distributor. Not only is he more of a distributor, he's more of a downhill kind of point guard that's looking for guys, and his ability to score opens up the offense for so many other people. That's why I would have to take Steve Nash over Derrick Rose.
Chill. What I do want to say to that though is if you put Derrick Rose on that run and gun team. So first off, you know Derrick Rose is one of the most fastest players in NBA history. Yes. You put him on a run and gun offense, not a slow down Thibodeau offense, and he's a one man, not now a one man fast break, but a whole team running with him. It's going to look a little different. But also, too, you put him with the shooters like JJ, James Jones, Raja Bell, another fast guy like Leandro Barbosa. Who else was the guys that they was playing with? You got Dunk Champ, Jason Richardson. You put him with Quentin Richardson. You put him with all of these guys that can shoot, space the floor, a young Boris Diaw. It's going to look a little different. I think he's going to live in the paint, obviously. But he has all those shooters around him. So when the defense collapses, he's going to be able to get easy assists just by kicking out to those guys, which he was with guys like Luol Deng, which he was with, dumping the ball down to Carlos Boozer, which he was with Kyle Korver and Kurt Heinrich, guys like that who he was able to distribute with. But that offense is so spread out and open that I think he was averaging 25 and 7 with Tom Thibodeau in a slow down offense. What does he do in an offense where he could just do everything? The sky's the limit.
I don't think that, and even with that being said, though, Ron, I mean, he wasn't limited. It wasn't like he was. It wasn't like he was told to walk the ball up. I mean, they played with pace. I think they were one of the fastest paced teams, and I think they was in the top 5 that year in shooting. They had guys who could shoot the basketball. Not only did they have guys who could shoot the basketball, they had finishes. So them 7 assists that not just the 7 assists, just getting to the free throw line, all of that stuff. If you playing with Steve Nash, I think it's a lot more. I think there's so much more production when you're playing with a guy like Steve Nash.
Yeah, no doubt. But who you got though? Derrick Rose or Steve Nash?
Nash.
You got Nash? Okay.
Nash.
Ox, you said Rose?
Yeah, Ox said Rose.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I said I'll take Rose.
Ticket, who you got? Steve Nash or Derrick Rose?
It's easy. It's D Rose. And the reason why I say it's easy is because I've seen many point guards play great around Mike D'Antoni. I saw Jeremy Lin have one of the greatest stretches that you've seen from a guy who was about to be out of the league, who was a G League guy. You understand? So with D Rose, you put D Rose in Mike D'Antoni's offense, what happens? He wins MVPs too. He won an MVP without having Mike D'Antoni's offense. And then I look at what Steve Nash was before Mike D'Antoni. He wasn't nowhere near what he looked like with Mike D'Antoni. So a lot of those guys, like I said, you go play on Mike D'Antoni's offense, your game look a lot different. But at the end of the day, man, D Rose, he was one of them dudes that in his prime, you could have put him on a Mike D'Antoni team and his numbers would have been insane.
All right, next up, the chat went with Derrick or went with Steve Nash. And we was split up here 2-2. Next, we have Derrick Rose versus Jason Kidd. Jalen Carter.
See, I just think that they're two different types of point guards that, depending on what the team needs, you would pick one or the other. But I think I'm going to go with oh man, so close. I'm gonna go with Derrick Rose. I think him as a scorer. Man, it's so close. Like it's like right here and there. Like if you say Jace Cat, I'm mad. I'm gonna lead Derrick Rose here. That peak MVP season again. I guess ability to score, get to the rim, what he did with his team. I'm not mad at either one, so I'm just gonna add Derrick Rose. I can really tell you.
Yeah, I got Jason Kidd. The difference between J Kidd and the Steve Nash argument is J Kidd what he did on the defensive end of the floor as well. So I mean, just that alone.
I think it's Jason Kidd, and I don't think it's close, to be quite honest with you guys. When we talk about overall impact and we talk about making a team better, just so you guys know, in 2002 when they went to the NBA Finals, that was the same crew. Take Marbury off that crew and put Jason Kidd on the crew. They won 24 games the year before that. Jason Kidd on that crew, they go to the NBA Finals the next year with that crew. And why do they do that? So we got guys like Kenya Martin, we got guys like Keith Van Horn and Aaron Williams, Lucius Harris, a rookie Richard Jefferson. He's taking them to the NBA Finals. Why is he doing that? His ability to speed the game up, not just his ability to speed the game up. What we talked about when we talked about passing the basketball, we talked about playmaking. And how is he playmaking? He playmaking not just on offense and getting guys in position to score. We're also talking about defense too. He was the head of their attack, not just the head of their attack. So he's now getting Richard Jefferson. He's getting Kenya Martin. These dudes are filling the lane, and he's playmaking for them because he's the head of their attack defensively and creating turnovers. I think it's Jason Kidd, and I don't think it's close.
Ticket.
I think we lost him.
J Kidd, man, led his team to 2 NBA Finals. That's it. That's ain't nothing else to say. The man in his prime led his team to 2 NBA Finals, and none of those other dudes were superstars. So
Kenya Martin was not a superstar.
No, man. Yeah, Richard Jefferson, him.
Kenya Martin was in year 2, by the way, when we took him to the NBA Finals.
And you could say somebody say, well, D Rose didn't have no superstars, but D Rose had a better complementary of guys.
Yes,
as far as you having guys like Luau Dean, the way they were revered. I mean, even Joakim Noah, people revered him in a certain way when he was playing with the Bulls. And then you had guys like what's his name that was on the team? I forget the other boy's name, but they had a few cats on that Bulls team, man. Taj Gibson was playing at a very good level. There was really good players on that Bulls team, man. Like I said, I just think it was slightly better, talented than the Nets team, even though they had guys like I think Gary Kittles was on that team. I think Keith Van Horn was on that team. I think Kenya Martin was on that team. I think Richard Jefferson was on that team, but he was young.
Lucius Harris, Aaron Williams, Todd McCullough.
Yeah, so the talent was even on both teams. I just think J Kidd did more. You know what I'm saying?
And remember too, Ticket, like Carlos Boozer, when Derrick Rose, when they went to that MVP, I think Carlos Boozer was in like year 8, right? Luol Deng, I think he was in he was in like year 6. Like Kenya Martin was in year 2. Richard Jefferson was a rookie. Kerry Kittles, I think he was in year 5 or 6, something like that.
Again, I think they're two different point guards. Like for their teams, they did what they need to do. Like I think if Jason Kidd was on that Bulls team or if Derrick Rose was on the Nets team, they wouldn't be as good. Like those teams were for them.
I think they still
them a lot
rolling
better.
if he's in Chicago. I think they still rolling if he's in Chicago.
I think they needed that 27-30 a night from Derrick Rose. That's
the reason why they needed it because that's his game. So now you got to do it in Jason Kidd, who's now. I mean, I heard J.R. Smith tell me. I heard J.R. Smith say Jason Kidd told him, "I'm gonna get you 6 points a game. All I need you to do is run." That's just him. So imagine him running with Carlos Boozer and Luol Deng and Taj Gibson and Ronnie Brewer, who could shoot the long ball, right? I think Kirk Heinrich was on that team too. Dudes like that. So if he's telling J.R. Smith, "I'm gonna get you an extra, forget what else you're doing. I'm gonna get you an extra 6 points. All I need you to do is run the floor." Same thing with Carlos Boozer. The 17 a game you getting. I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna add 6 or 7 more points to that because I'm gonna get you running the floor and I'm gonna get you to the free throw line. How much better is that team gonna be? And he doesn't have to be 25 a game. He could be 18 and 11, 18 and 10. And how much better would that Bulls team be? I think it's J Kidd and it's not close.
All right, y'all. J Kidd takes that one. Next for Derrick Rose versus the field, we have Derrick Rose versus Penny Hardaway. Who are we taking? Jalen Carter.
Derrick Rose versus Penny Hardaway. Peak seasons. Another good one. Give me Penny Hardaway here. I think his mid-range was stronger. I think his facilitating playmaker was a little stronger too. Less turnovers. A little more responsible with the ball. I think he was able to control the tempo of the game a little more. Derrick Rose. I think Derrick Rose sometimes played the game at one speed, a little too aggressive and fast, compared to Penny Hardaway.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Penny. I think Penny does everything better than D Rose. He's bigger as well. I mean, he went toe to toe with Jordan and Pippen. Like, who else did that?
Okay. Chill. Derrick Rose, Penny Hardaway.
I'm a huge Penny fan. So you gonna have to go time selling me on Derrick Rose and Penny Hardaway. Even though they're both what ifs, and Derrick Rose won the league MVP, and he was fantastic that 2011 season. But I'm watching Penny Hardaway running track, and I really wish they wouldn't have broke up. I don't. As good as him and Kobe was together, and they were great, I would have loved to have seen what that would have turned into. I just would have.
Who's a better finisher at the rim, Penny or Derrick Rose? But Derrick Rose is great, but so is Penny.
Penny dunking on Ewing. Oh, he dunking on Patrick Ewing. He dunking on big man. Oh my, 6'7", skipping in the lane. So was
Derrick Rose though. Derrick was getting up there too.
I ain't seen Derrick Rose punching it. I seen him throwing it on the Dragon. Yeah, I don't see him throwing it over Ewing.
Joel Anthony. He had a crazy dunk on Joel Anthony where he was.
I did see that.
It was almost like he got to the peak of his jump and just paused and waited for the ball to come down. He had it behind his head and then boom.
Derrick was a super athlete. No, he was super athlete.
Yeah, he was super duper athlete, duper athletic. But Penny Hardaway at 6'7", skipping in the lane, throwing it on Patrick Ewing, throwing it on other big guys. Just he was fantastic. I would have to go. I would have to say Penny Hardaway.
If I go back, like if I have one guy to go back and just watch highlights, like let's say I'm bored and I'm like I want to go watch some basketball highlights. Penny's at the top of my list.
He is.
So I want to go watch somebody just razzle dazzle me. Pause. I'm like, yo, Penny, the one to go watch for real.
Yeah, he is, yo.
Yo, but Ticket, Penny Hardaway versus Derrick Rose. Who you got?
D Rose.
Mm-hmm.
A prime D Rose won an MVP. Ain't enough. We ain't got to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
A prime D Rose won MVP. A prime Penny had Shaq. Let's stop doing this.
A prime Penny did have a prime Penny had Shaq, and they went to the NBA Finals. So
right, right. He had Shaq.
And they went to the NBA Finals.
Those would have won the chip.
He did look great without Shaq though too when Shaq was injured.
But what did he win MVP?
No, he did not.
MVP,
no, he did not.
All right then.
Hey, Jalen, and he won MVP over your GOAT.
I mean, let's be honest now. I mean, he was not better than LeBron James or even Dwight Howard that season. We got a
That's who I thought should have won the league MVP. I thought it was
Dwight Howard and LeBron James were better. The narrative with LeBron, he was in the Heat, they were hated. He wasn't going to win it. Why Dwight? I think Derrick Rose being, the number 1 seed, taking that team, and then getting a narrative thing with him. But I would have had Dwight as my second guy. Derrick Rose would have been third on my list, but shout out Derrick Rose.
So the GOAT was third that year.
No, Go was first. Everyone knew LeBron James is still the best player on the team. We all knew that. You know that too, Ron. You know that too.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah,
We
all know
Penny Hardaway takes that one amongst us, and the chat right now has Penny up 51 to 49. Chat, I'm gonna let you guys run that poll. I'm gonna run that poll for another minute. I'm gonna let you guys decipher that. But we're gonna get on to the next person. I got Derrick Rose versus. Well, I mean, if we brought up Penny Hardaway, we gotta go with this guy next. Jamal Murray. Prime Derrick Rose versus Jamal Murray. How do we feel about this one?
So Jamal Murray tangent. He's playing with Jokic. We've seen his playoff. I think his playoff elevation far exceeds Derrick Rose, but the regular season isn't there. So what am I going to value? His playoff performances. So 1 year Jamal Murray, his peak year. Man. Give me Jamal Murray, man. That playoff rising is crazy. Y'all don't understand, man. Jamal Murray's playoff growth, him hitting those big shots. Derrick Rose getting locked up by LeBron James. Jamal Murray was giving LeBron some room. Obviously, that's a prime LeBron James in the fourth quarter guarding Derrick Rose. We understand that. But Jamal Murray, his playoff elevation is at an all-time
Jalen,
level.
that logic doesn't work because LeBron James shut the door on Jamal Murray in the closeout game. So that logic doesn't work about him shutting down Derrick Rose. He shut Derrick Rose down. I mean, he shut Derrick Rose down. But he also shut down Jamal Murray too. So that logic doesn't work.
This past.
No, I'm talking about 2020.
Okay, so we're talking about 1 year. I was gonna say Jamal Murray 1 year.
He did shut the door on him. Yes, he did do that.
So give me Jamal Murray, man. Big shots in the playoffs. He was doing it up. Give me Jamal Murray. Just a playoff.
Hey, Dylan. You got to stop rolling up that recency bias. I don't know what type of rap you use, but you rolling up that recency bias.
That's legal in Canada. We chilling, but we ain't even on that right now. Okay, but I'm saying, I just get that playoff elevation. I'm probably buying that high. And like I said, Derrick Rose, 1 season. We're doing 1 season, so recency bias, 1 season sample size. We'll take it.
Got you. Okay. Derrick Rose.
I honestly don't think Jamal Murray belongs in this conversation. You listed the guys that you've been listing. Jamal Murray came way out of left field. I think we should, redo this part right here and give us another name, bro. That's so Jamal Murray's not worthy of this conversation right here, bro.
Damn. So that means you're
with all the respect to Jamal, because he's a baller for sure. He's a baller.
So you're picking.
I got D Rose. If we got to stick with this name, you don't want to give us another name?
I got more names for you.
All right.
I mean, Jalen Carter believes he belongs in this conversation, and I think it's somebody else that does too. But Chilltown, who are you taking? Jamal Murray?
I really want to take Derrick Rose, but I'm thinking about the fact that Derrick Rose tore up his knee. And I'm thinking about the fact that Jamal Murray tore his knee up too. Just so we know, Derrick Rose played 10 more years after that. It wasn't like he tore his knee up and he was over. Derrick Rose played 10 more years. Jamal Murray tore his knee up. The very next year, he gets back in the NBA as a lead guard. They win the NBA championship. And he's balling as a lead guard. Now, up until that point, who was better? Or you talking about for 1 year? I mean, they won the NBA championship with Jamal Murray. Man. Derrick Rose. I mean, he won the league MVP and won. I got to go with Derrick Rose, unfortunately. I do.
Okay. Ticket. Who are you taking? Derrick Rose or Jamal Murray?
I think we lost it.
We had it.
Right here, my bad. I was talking on mute. I'm picking Jamal Murray. And the reason why I'm saying Jamal Murray is because I think Jamal Murray is a better player than Derrick Rose. And I mean that, all 3 levels, Jamal Murray can score. Derrick Rose can't score on all 3 levels. They're not really good 3-point shooter. Also, Jamal Murray is just as good as a facilitator as Derrick Rose. He's just as good as a defender as Derrick Rose. Jamal Murray also has a better – he can post up. Derrick Rose really can't post up. He hadn't shown the ability to play in the post. He's more of a drive and finish to the basket guy or mid-range guy. He used to use his athleticism a lot, finish at the basket. But I just think Jamal Murray, skill-wise, is better, man. And then, like I said, I've seen Jamal Murray level up. I've seen him drop 50s on dudes in the playoffs. I've seen him get 30-point triple-doubles in the playoffs. I've seen him score 30 points in a quarter in the NBA final or in the NBA conference finals. I've seen Jamal Murray level up. I mean, the last 2 times he was healthy, they're in the conference finals, NBA finals. The other times he doesn't play, Jokic is out in the first round, second round. He going home. I mean, you do the math. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about Derrick Rose, we're not talking about Derrick Rose just being on a bad team and elevate. We're talking about Derrick Rose being on a very solid team because even when Derrick Rose left, the Bulls were still solid. When Jimmy Butler was the man, they still was solid, still was winning a lot of games.
He was on those crews too, by the way. He was on those crews too, by the way. Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't playing. No,
right.
He wasn't playing. He was hurt. Right. Remember, a lot of those seasons he was hurt. He was not playing. Yeah. And Jimmy Butler was kind of taking the reign. And that team was still solid over in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? They were still winning around 48 games, 50 games a season. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like and like I said, you had dudes like Luol Deng averaging 18 points per game. You still had Joakim Noah giving you a double-double. You still had Kurt Heinrich over there getting buckets. So like I said before, man, if we talking about skill for skill, and we're not even saying, okay, put this Jamal Murray on his own team, what type of numbers can he put up? If I'm switching Murray with Derrick Rose, a prime Jamal Murray right now with Derrick Rose, I believe he can do the same thing.
This Jamal Murray ain't even top 5 point guards in the NBA today.
Yeah, that's not true. He is. They just don't give him the credit. They just don't give him the credit for it. He is. And you can't make an argument. You can't make an argument of 5 point guards that's better than Jamal Murray right now.
Is it because he won the NBA championship ticket? Is that what it is?
It's just how much we value his playoff performances. I think it just comes down to how much we value that versus
because again,
that too is an equalizer, but it's because of his game. Right. Bro, how many guards? A lot of guards are one dimensional, or they do 2 things. Jamal Murray, he really has no weaknesses in his game. He can shoot the free throw, shoot the long ball, shoot off the dribble. He can shoot off the ball. You understand what I'm saying? He can spot him and shoot off the ball. He can break down a D. He can hit the mid-range. He can post up. He can finish at the basket. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm at 7 right now. In my head, I got 7. I got 7 better than him right now.
And he can facilitate. Go ahead.
Let's hear the 7.
I might got 8.
What?
Damn, I got 9.
Let's hear it, Ox. Let's hear it.
Luka.
All right, let's hear the definitives and then the debatables as well.
Okay,
the
definitives. I'm gonna put some respect on Jamal.
So who wasn't he better than definitely Big Ox? Definitely he wasn't better than this.
So the definitives are only Luka, Steph, Dame.
Okay, so he definitely ain't better than them.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some respect on Jamal Murray's name. You know what I'm saying? Those are the only ones that clear him, I think.
Okay.
Other than that, the ones that I think are still better than him are would have to be De'Aaron. Would have to be
ain't no way.
Would have to be SGA. Would have to be who else I had SGA. I mean, we've been calling him point guard all year.
Yeah, he played the league all last year.
Would have to be SGA. Would have to be Kyrie. Would have to be De'Aaron.
You said De'Aaron already.
Hold on. How can it be Kyrie? Kyrie played the 2.
That's 6.
Hold on. How can it be Kyrie? Kyrie played the 2.
Just let him get his list off.
Kyrie's a point guard, bro. Kyrie's a point guard.
Okay, so then Luka can't be the point guard because they both on the same team.
Just let him get his list off.
He's a point guard. He's a point guard.
Keep going. So we have 6 right now.
Those 6. I think, you know what? I think I'll be cool with those 6. I think I'll be cool with those 6.
So you go with
I don't want to go into Darius Garland, Trae Young, LaMelo. I'm gonna just be cool with that 6.
Okay. So
Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton. No, I think that's an any day of the week type thing. So I'm gonna leave him alone too. I'm gonna leave him alone.
Hold on, let me ask you a question, Ron. As much as I love Kyrie Irving, with Jokic, he won in the chip last year.
But Kyrie not better than Jamal.
I asked y'all a question. You put Kyrie Irving with Jokic. Is he winning the chip last year?
I think
if he stays healthy,
yeah, they will.
Jalen Carter, you're on drugs. Hold on, Jalen Carter, on drugs. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I love Kyrie. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you why. I watched Kyrie get swept with KD. I watched Kyrie Irving. I watched Kyrie Irving get walked down in the playoffs with Boston with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I watched Kyrie Irving get smoked and not even make the playoffs playing with Luka this past year. Bro, this is what we not gonna do. And I love Kyrie, right? Yeah. And I think Kyrie is at the highest order. But if you put him in that same position, you know what that means Kyrie's gonna have to be able to do? He's going to be able to defend the way Jamal Murray can defend as him being a bigger guard, which Kyrie's a miniature guard. Also, Jamal Murray's a very good defender for his size and for his position. Also, you understand what I'm saying? I will give you the clutch because Kyrie is clutch. That's cool. I give you that. But also, you would have to trust that Kyrie Irving. Okay, so now all of a sudden you guys trust all the other intangibles about Kyrie Irving right now?
If Kyrie played with
I
Jokic,
could have named 10. I could have named 10. Ticket. I decided to keep it cool. I could have easily named 10.
I'm just saying because I'm just saying. So because I doubt y'all would say that you could put Kyrie Irving with the Miami Heat right now and they win a chip. You think you can put Dame with the Heat, they can win a chip? You think you put Kyrie Irving with the Heat, they can win a chip?
Yes. I'll take Kyrie over Dame.
I don't think so. I don't think so because I don't think so because of the other end. I don't think so because of the defense. I think the defense will get exploited with a guy like Kyrie Irving.
That's the thing, though, Ticket. When you put like Kyrie's the type of dude where you have to have defense around him, and so you put him on the Nuggets or the Heat.
You put him on the same units. Jamal Murray defense. That's what I'm saying.
No, I get that, Ticket, but you put him on a unit like that where you got KCPs, Bruce Browns, you got Aaron Gordons, you got a defensive oriented team. Then it's like Kyrie now. The only thing that we're looking for you to do is come and be a bucket getter, which we know Kyrie can do that with the best of them. So you mean to tell me you put that Nuggets roster around them with the coach Mike Malone, and then you got Jokic, who you're obviously running your offense through. So it's like Kyrie, just when it comes down to the shot clock running out, or when it comes down to crunch time, all we need you to do is deliver. We know
but the problem is that he hasn't delivered, though. That's the thing. That's what Ticket's talking about. The fact that when we get into late in the postseason, we've seen him not deliver. The last up until
he played with LeBron James,
since he played with James, he has not done that. That's what we're living off of. We're living off what he did in 2016, in 2017. We saw what happened. We saw what happened in the NBA Finals in 2017. He was fantastic against Steph Curry, no doubt about that. He was great against Steph Curry. 2018, he ends up getting hurt. Right, gets hurt. Mm-hmm. They don't make the playoffs. He doesn't play in the playoffs. They make the playoffs. And they had a winning record when he's out the lineup. 2019, they get smoked against Milwaukee. And he had the worst shooting performance of his career. 2020, he gets hurt again. They don't make the playoffs. 2021 against Milwaukee, he gets hurt again in the playoffs. 2022, they get smoked in the playoffs because of how bad he played. So we're talking about Kyrie Irving. I think we're living a lot off of what he did with James, which was 7 years ago. And the fact that he can do, the fact that he did that, I can appreciate the fact that he did that. But we also live in a time in what have you done for me lately? And what has he done lately?
Chill, I get you. And you're right. But here's also the thing, too. What he did playing next to the best player in the NBA during that time, I believe he can do playing next to the best player in the NBA
but he was
right now.
With KD. He was playing with KD. What's the excuse?
No,
either way,
KD's not
Jokic.
Come on.
Top 5 point guard.
KD's not Jokic.
Top 5 point guard.
Hold on, bro. Ron, what I'm saying to you is this, bro. The special part about Murray is like he's like the Swiss Army knife. He the best of all the worlds because he can play D at that size. He's Jamal Murray like 6'5", bro. He can play D at that size. He can run a team, run a show, get buckets. You don't have any problems, any issues with him like you can have with Kyrie Irving, who had these certain. And then we've seen Kyrie Irving go through stretches in the playoffs where he just plays horrible and doesn't do anything else. The one thing about Jamal Murray, if Jamal Murray's shot's not going, he'll get you 10 assists, 11 assists.
That's a fact.
Kyrie Irving's the type of dude, if he's not having a good game, he's having a whole bad game.
But
and I've seen that too many times.
Kyrie averaged 27 last year. It's like, come on, man. Kyrie is a bucket. We know he's a bucket. Kyrie gonna get to it.
And he went to a team with a dude that y'all saying could win the MVP, and the team instantly got worse. Come on, bro. They went from being in the playoffs to falling all the way to the bottom of the West.
Yeah, Luka not Jokic either. And on top of that, the Nuggets aren't the Mavericks. The Nuggets.
We was talking about hold, Bron, you're not gonna do that because we was talking about Luka before the season started. We was talking about Luka as arguably the best player in the game. We was talking about him like that.
And then we seen what happened. We seen that Luka's not Jokic. No, right now, I think Giannis is still the best player in the NBA, but a lot of people will say that Jokic is the best player in the NBA. We're talking about taking him in that roster and switching Kyrie and Jamal. I just think Kyrie will be able to do a lot of what Jamal did, especially on the offensive end. And I think it's going to be nights where Kyrie definitely leads them in scoring. We're going to see 40 pieces from Kyrie. We're going to see a lot of 30 pieces from Kyrie. We're going to see a lot of 20-point games from Kyrie. Kyrie's going to get buckets. The team is going to play good. And Jokic is going to do what Jokic does. I don't see them getting worse with Kyrie. I just don't see that. But we got to move on to the next point guard. Derrick Rose versus the field. Ironically, we mentioned him, so now we're going to talk about him. Derrick Rose versus Luka. Who are you guys taking? Jalen, it's on you.
Give me Luka all day, every day. I mean, you know, at his size, the playmaking, the scoring, I think he does, again, everything better than Derrick Rose, except exploding to the basket. You know what I mean? I think with his size, the beneficiary at the rim, the mid-range, one of the top 3 probably playmaker passer in the league today. Give me Luka Doncic all day.
I already know what Bob at with this.
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
That's crazy.
I think I'll just go ahead and take Derrick Rose. We don't got time for our point guard just dribbling the air out the ball. Let's get that thing moving a little bit. D Rose will dribble the ball, but Luka takes it over the top, man. Let's get the pill moving.
Chill.
That Luka disrespect getting crazy, Ox.
It's not disrespect though, Jalen. The reason why it's not disrespect is because Luka, at his best, right? Like I think that up until this point, when they was in the conference championship, that was probably his best. Even though what he did to Kawhi Leonard and the Clipper team, don't get me wrong, he was fantastic. But if you watch his game and how slow it is and how he doesn't give any effort on defense, or he does give effort on defense, but it's minimal, and how much of a liability he is defensively, how he pounds the basketball constantly, and what does that generate? Does that generate to winning like Derrick Rose did the year that he was the best season that he had? I mean, who would I rather have in that particular situation? And as much as I dig Luka game, I would rather have Derrick Rose. I would.
That's a take. I would
rather have Derrick Rose. I would, in his best season.
Okay.
Because a lot of people looking at Luka. He can shoot it better. A lot of people look at Luka. He can stretch the defense. You know, Luka isn't a great knockdown long ball shooter. He's not.
Yeah, he's not the greatest 3-point shooter.
No, he wasn't a knockdown long ball shooter. He was respectable, and just like Derrick Rose had a respectable mid range game. He could shoot the 3. He didn't shoot the 3 at the volume that Luka did. But when I think about Derrick Rose, his defense on defense, he wasn't great, but I definitely think he was better than Luka, and I think the effort was there. Sure. If I had to pick between those two guys in one season, I would have to say Derrick Rose. Now I don't want to overhype Derrick Rose, but I'm going to go with Derrick Rose.
But I think Luka was the best player in the league until about January, February. He was first in MVP voting, and the fallout kind of happened with Kyrie. So as people forget, I mean, he was carrying that team by himself. We saw those, 60-point triple doubles, 40, 50 a night, getting the rebounds, getting the assists, and being the only playmaker on that team. Like, he was the only guy generating offense for that team. So I think in terms of floor raising, I have to give it to Luka too, elevating mediocre to bad guys. Right. I'm gonna give it to Luka.
All right. Take it. Who you got, Derrick Rose or Luka Doncic?
That's tough, man. I'm going with the Wonder Boy, Luka Doncic. And the reason why I say that is because he led his team to the Western Conference Finals. That's farther than what D Rose could do, even in his.
No, he didn't. That's not true. Ticket. The Bulls.
I ain't finished. That's farther than what D Rose could do because he went to a game 7.
No, he didn't.
Was one game away from going to the NBA Finals, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he didn't.
Oh no, he went. Hold on. What happened? It went
Dallas
6 games.
5. They beat Dallas in 5 games, just like the Heat.
That's right. My bad.
You good? You straight?
I'm still rolling with Luka, man. I just think Luka better, man. And I love D Rose, man. I just think Luka's better, bro. Yeah. I think Luka at his peak is just better. I've seen Luka since he's been 15 years old, giving it to grown men, bro. You know what I'm saying? And winning EuroLeague championship, which is not easy. which is some people may think it's harder to win than it is an NBA championship. Because of the way the refs call the game, the style of play is more physical. Yeah, I want Luka, man. I love D Rose, man. I just think that Luka's just better, and I just think that if in these next couple of years, I think you're gonna see Luka rise to another level, bro. I believe that.
I do think that part I do agree with.
He's in
I
shape.
do think we're gonna get some more. I do think we're gonna get some more from him.
Right, he gonna you know he gonna rise, bro. I just see he's been a winner his whole life, and so I just think that if they getting him a little bit of help around there, I think it's gonna be bad news for a lot of teams. I think he's gonna cause a lot of teams a lot of different problems. And the dude is a monster, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got it's tough for me. I'm going with Luka, though, man.
All right, the chat went with Luka as well, but it is a tie up here amongst the panelists. But we're gonna move on to the next person. Let's get to it. We got Derrick Rose versus Stephen Curry. Who are we taking, Jalen Carter?
We going with Stephen Curry here. Just, all-time great, the shooting ability. We've seen what he's done in the playoffs, elevating his teammates, off-ball movement. I mean, it's just Steph Curry. I don't even think it's much of a debate here. It's definitely Steph.
No doubt. I don't think it's much of a debate either. But Ox, who are you taking? Steph Curry or Derrick Rose?
Nah, bro. It's obviously Steph, bro. It's obviously Steph. It's not. I don't think there's any room for a debate here.
Okay. Chilltown.
Curry.
Simple as that. Ticket TV, Derrick Rose or Steph Curry?
Couple questions.
Uh-oh.
Who do y'all think had the better team?
Steph, without a doubt.
The Warriors. Steph Curry had the better unit. Yes, he did.
Right, he had the better unit, right? Mm-hmm. He's got how many guys you guys say is going to the Hall of Fame that was on his team?
Kevin Durant going to the Hall of Fame, Draymond going to the Hall of Fame, Klay Thompson's going to the Hall of Fame.
How many?
Andre Iguodala might even get in there.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think Iggy getting in, but how many? And Iggy need to retire. They talking about he may come back. Let me say this to y'all. How many Hall of Famers did D Rose have on that Bulls team?
0.
Jimmy Butler.
And when Steph went to Golden State, how many years did it take him to take over the team?
What was that last part, Ticket?
When Steph got drafted to the Warriors, how many years did it take him to take over and become a man?
He became elite. He became elite in year 5.
And D Rose was from day one, right?
He was the number 1 overall pick.
And if D Rose would have never got hurt, you guys think he would have won a couple championships, maybe?
We're just talking about that one season.
Yeah,
but to your point, do I think they would have won with what the Miami Heat did? I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. How many MVPs do Curry got?
2.
And he had Hall of Famers on his team when he won them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Ticket, this ain't rocket. I see where you're going with this, but
sometimes it's a straight answer ticket.
In his prime?
Both in their prime, Ticket.
We're gonna clip this.
Last question that you asked. What do y'all think Steph Curry would have done with that Bulls team?
It would have been phenomenal.
Steph Curry and shit without Klay Thompson.
With that Bulls team and that Bulls offense, what do y'all think Steph would have did?
Is Klay Thompson over there too?
No, with the guys at D Rose had.
Well, Steph Curry and shit without Klay Thompson.
No, hold on. I think Steph still this dude in the chat
I really wish you could get him up here one day, because I swear to God, I will for real peel this dude's head off. Toast the GOAT. That's it. He's trying to tell us that Steph Curry was elite in year 3. It's the same Steph Curry that averaged 15 a game and played only 26 games that year. I really, because you should hear this dude. You should hear this dude in the chat. I really wish you could get him up. I will straight peel this dude's cap. I swear I would. I will destroy him, and I will absolutely have him never come in here again. I swear I would, because he is one of the goofiest dudes in these chats. He is terrible. Terrible.
I'm gonna have to go with it's a tie.
A tie.
A tie.
Woo!
The reason why I say that is because I think that we saw how Steph Curry was because of the system and the teammates he had. I think that if you would have made Steph Curry had to come in from day one and beat a dude like D Rose was, and the offense that D Rose, with the coach D Rose played for, Tibbs, the defense Curry would have had to play. He plays no defense whatsoever. I think we're having a different story.
So, Tick, are you rewriting Steph Curry's career and then picking Derrick Rose because of a fictional career that you just made up for Steph Curry?
When I weigh it, I have to scale everything off the right way. Like when we're talking about players, I can't just look at Steph Curry's accolades, and because like for example, when you're on a stacked team and you got multiple Hall of Famers, I can't just look at you and say, oh, he was better based off another dude who didn't have that same fortune. Because if D Rose had those same teammates, maybe he wins a chip if he has a guy shooting like Klay Thompson shot. Got bailing him out like Klay Thompson did many times, dropping 40, 37 and a quarter, all this other stuff Klay was doing. Y'all praise Draymond Green's elite level defensively, all-time defensive player that y'all say defensive player of the year, all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? D Rose wasn't fortunate to have all that. His team was successful at that time and won 60 games based off his leadership. You know, I saw Steph Curry when he had to hold his nuts when Klay was hurt and they missed the playoffs in his prime when the nigga was playing at an MVP level.
Led the league in scoring that year. Led the league in scoring.
And he missed the playoffs.
Led the league in
It was
scoring
getting beat by 50 that season. Remember they got beat by 50 that season, Chilltown? I couldn't believe they was getting beat by 50. They was getting beat by 40 at the half, Chilltown. 30 that year. They was getting humiliated. You had Draymond Green was quitting games because he didn't want to be out there without Klay. Come on, man. I saw it. I saw what Steph looked like without them dudes out there. Then I saw what happened this year when Steph was balling again and niggas was losing. As soon as he got hurt and Jordan Poole took over the game, Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson got the season back on track when Steph got hurt. This ain't no disrespect, Steph. I'm just keeping it trill.
Take it. So do you have Jamal Murray over Steph then? Because ain't no way.
No, I don't have Jamal Murray over Steph. He don't have enough body of work. But I'm saying with D Rose's MVP season, I saw him win the MVP and be the reason they won 60 games. He was the main reason. I'm saying to you, I've seen Steph Curry play an MVP level season and not make the playoffs. And he had Draymond Green on the team. They was missing Klay Thompson. There's no reason why you should be having an MVP season. You have a fake-ass defensive player of the year, Hall of Famer, and they still had on that team too. You still had Wiggins and them on that team, and you couldn't make the playoffs? Come on, bro.
But this peak for peak, though.
We got to move on to the last player.
No, Ron. They got smoke, Ron. They got smoke, Ron. And everybody going to blame it on everybody else. They're going to say, oh, well, he had these guys. I don't want to hear that, bro.
It's peak for peak, though.
Right. And I'm talking, right. That was his peak. Curry, that year they missed the playoffs. That was probably better than his individual season stats was probably better than the years he won the MVP.
So 2016, Steph Curry.
No, I'm saying the year that they missed the playoffs, the year Steph Curry was going crazy. I think he was down there 50, 40, 90 that year. If I'm not mistaken, Chilltown.
He was close.
So are you saying that 2011 Derrick Rose is better than 2016 Steph Curry?
Bro, I seen 2011 Derrick Rose go to a team win 60 games, bro.
If you saying yeah, then yeah. I'm saying hold on, Bob. So I'm asking you this, Bob.
in all reality, what's the excuse for Steph Curry not making the playoffs, bro? When you still had Drake, you still had
missed
Wiggins.
the playoffs in 2016?
No, I'm talking about the year he played the MVP level, that he missed the playoffs, bro. That he was out there getting beat by 50 and 60. Me and Elder was on live.
I don't know what his excuse is. I don't think he deserves an excuse. But what I'm asking you is, because you didn't answer my question, is 2011 Derrick Rose better than 2016 Steph Curry? That's all I'm asking.
But hold on. You say, when you keep saying 2016 Steph Curry, you're talking about this Steph Curry that I'm talking about. This Steph Curry who was at his peak prime is when he was playing the year that Clay wasn't there. I'm trying to grade it on an even level, bro.
There's no such thing as a better Steph without Klay Thompson. Steph Curry ain't shit without Klay Thompson. There's no such thing. So 2016 Steph Curry, 2011 Derrick Rose. There's no way you gonna convince us that he's better than that Steph Curry. Steph Curry walks.
Bob, I'm sorry, Bob, I'm sorry, man. Steph Curry came in the league. He wasn't the man from day one in the league. And I agree with Chilltown. And Chilltown always say this, and his ass better not walk this back now. I swear to God, I'm gonna come to that camera.
I care about what you did when you did it. And if you that dude from the door.
Hold on. I ain't say what you said. Other thing you said, but we'll just keep it real. Chilltown, my brother from another, said that he feels like if Steph Curry went to the Knicks, he would have been ruined. He would not be the same player.
Minnesota too.
Hold on, Bob.
We gotta talk about what we saw.
Hold on. By us saying that, we're saying that not only did Steph Curry benefit off the offense he was playing in, he benefited off the teammates that he was playing with.
Derrick Rose. That's cool. You're right. I'm not trying to debate you on that, but I swear I'm not. I will.
So hold on, but that's my okay. Now, Bob, if you disagree with that, that's cool. That's my basis, homie. That's my basis, homie.
I done answered 3 of your questions, but you won't answer one of mine.
Go ahead. No, I'm saying that's my basis, homie. That's my basis. No, I'm telling you.
Okay, I got you.
No, I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. I'm saying I think Derrick Rose is better, but I'm giving you the basis of why. I'm telling you, I think Steph. Hold on. I'm telling you, I think Steph Curry. I think the Steph Curry we would have seen if he didn't was the Steph Curry that we saw with Mark Jackson had he would have played in most offenses.
Right.
When Steve Kerr came and they revolutionized everything, you understand what I'm saying? I think that's what changed everything about Steph Curry. I think that's what made Steph Curry, because you put him in a different, like the same thing with James Harden. Look at James Harden when he was getting coached when he first went to Houston by Kevin McHale. He was still putting up 26, 27 a game. But damn it, when he got with Mike D'Antoni, this dude's on he's on roids. Not literally, but it's crazy. That's the same thing with Steph. And then you're talking about 3 dudes that's playing with him that was gonna go in the Hall of Fame when he was doing that stuff you said.
Yeah.
Bro, D Rose
Ticket makes a compelling argument. I'm going with Curry. Unfortunately, I got to bounce, but I'm going with Curry.
Wait. Chill. Just right before you leave, I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to ask everybody else. But you don't have to stay for everybody's answer. I just want to ask you right quick. Last but not least, we got Derrick Rose versus Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard. Yes. All right. Damian Lillard. Yep. I'm going to go with Damian Lillard. And Toast the Ghost, when you know where to find me at, brother. I am not hard to find. Bring your ass.
You went from Toast to Ghost.
That's all I got to say.
Ghost.
That's it. See ya. Bring your ass, brother. You know where to find me at.
Y'all know Chilltown get nasty at night.
I am not hard to find, brother. Come through. All right, brother. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Chill.
All right, Chilltown. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, Jalen, who you got? Damian Lillard.
Give me Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, I mean, 28, 30 points a game, one of the 10 best 3-point shooters of all time. The passing, still getting you 6, 7, 8 assists a game. It's just Damian Lillard. I think he's just a better player than Derrick Rose. Three-level scorer.
No, he ain't.
Almost definitely is. Why is Derrick Rose a better player?
Hold on, quick. We'll get to this. Ox, you give me your answer. Who you got, Rose or Damian Lillard?
I'm gonna pick Rose, and I know why he gonna pick him too.
I'm really not. I'm not sure, bro.
You are sure, and I know why you gonna pick him based off no point.
No.
Based off,
you gonna take Rose. I promise you gonna take Rose.
Why?
I know why you gonna take Rose too.
Your principles.
Why do I gotta take? Why do I gotta take Rose? I'm just curious.
Because hold on. Tell me, because you praise defense, right?
Derrick Rose was not some elite defense.
I do love defense, but just like Jalen said, I didn't know D Rose was a lockdown defender.
Yeah, he was a negative defender on that.
Hold on. D Rose played hellified defense with the Chicago Bulls that years he was winning MVP. They were one of the best defensive teams in the league. What are you talking about?
He was like the worst defender on the team.
I mean, he had Luau Deng.
Stop lying, bro. Hey, Jalen, stop lying, boy.
He was the worst defender on that team, especially I
can't believe you just tried to box me in with a Derrick Rose defense argument, man. No,
hold on. Is the gap not major between him and is the gap defensively?
Elementary of you.
Hold on, Bob. Is the gap defensively not major between those two? Between Dame and D Rose?
No, it's not. No, there's a gap.
That's hate,
y'all. There's a gap.
Hate.
Ticket, there's a gap. I'm saying there's a gap, but the gap isn't like huge. You know what I'm saying? D Rose wasn't playing no crazy like that. So let me answer the question. Who do I got?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh shit.
I think this is the hardest one, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. Out of all of them, that's why I said before.
Hold on. For y'all to say,
I am gonna take. Because Dame got that burner though. That's what it separates. That's where I'm having a problem is just because of the way Dame shoots the ball.
What do you mean in the playoffs?
In the game, it's in basketball. I'm not gonna break down somebody's whole career just like a playoff stretch or none of that. I'm talking about just that game, you know. And Dame shoot the fuck out the ball, man. My bad, y'all. This is real hard for me. You should have just told us these earlier so we could have had it ready because I need to think about this, bro. I can make an argument for both of them. I think I'm gonna have to go with D Rose.
Man. All right, but right now in the Sacramento Kings, you get to choose one. Who you want?
Wait, do I got to take somebody out, or they just get to be on the team? Oh, for D. Give me D Rose.
Okay. All right. Bob has chose D Rose. Young Africa chimed in, and he's taking Dame Dollar.
Talk about it.
I ain't mad at you, Africa. I ain't mad. I want Dollar too, but.
There's a lot of dollar hate going on.
That's by far the hardest. That's by far the hardest one, bro.
Ticket. Last but not least, who you got? D Rose or Dame Dollar?
Who
He definitely got D Rose.
I got D Rose, and the reason why, like I said, he peaked better defensively with his team. He did, bro. And I don't want to hear about he was the worst defender in that starting five. Nigga, they was elite. Nigga, if he's the worst defender between Joakim Noah, Luau Deng, and them dudes, then he's elite. The hell is wrong with you guys?
And Kyle Korver?
He was never.
I don't think Korver was on that team.
Okay,
I don't think Korver was on the team either. Yeah,
Korver wasn't on that team. You talking about Kurt Heinrich coming off the bench, bro?
Kurt Heinrich, my bad. Kurt Heinrich, my bad. Yeah, shout out Kurt Heinrich. Shout out Kurt Heinrich,
bro. But the whole team, Taj Gibson, that whole team was demons defensively, bro. So to say he was the worst defender, he was damn good. If you go look at his numbers compared to the league that year, he was damn good.
Hey, Dunleavy was on that team.
Defense, the defense overtakes all that to me. His defense
Dunleavy was on those teams.
Dunleavy was on them team. Yeah.
His defense, Bob. To me, his defense overruns all of that. His level of defense.
D Rose defense.
Damn right, because D Rose defense, his level above Dame Dollar, bro.
I mean, there is a gap.
Damian Lillard got destroyed by every great guard, and I mean absolutely annihilated, except for Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook was the only guard that didn't annihilate that nigga.
All right, fellas. I'm gonna go ahead and run the list back down. So from the top, Derrick Rose beat Ja Morant. We voted him out. Steve Nash and Derrick Rose, it was a tie, but the chat chose Steve Nash. So Steve Nash takes that bid. Derrick Rose and Jason Kidd took that one. Derrick Rose and Penny Hardaway took that one as well. Now we had Jamal Murray and Derrick Rose. It was a tie up here amongst the panelists, but The chat chose Derrick Rose, so Derrick Rose won that one against Jamal Murray. Then we had Stephen Curry against Derrick Rose, and Stephen Curry cleared him in that one. We had Luka Doncic versus Derrick Rose. It was a tie up here amongst the panelists, but the chat chose Luka. And last but not least, we had Damian Lillard versus Derrick Rose. It was a tie up here amongst the panelists, but the chat chose Dame. So it looks like Derrick Rose was getting smashed throughout these, but he did take a couple.
So Tiki, Young Africa asked a question that I think Jalen asked a little earlier. You got Murray over Rose, but Rose over Steph?
Who you talking about? African booty scratcher?
Shout out Young Africa.
Wait, what you say? You said I got Murray over Rose.
Yeah, Murray over Rose, but Rose over Curry.
No, I said Curry. I said I had a tie with Curry and Rose. But the reason why I picked Murray over him is because I told you again, Jokic went home in the first round and the second round without Murray. The 2 years Murray was there, conference finals, NBA championship.
And Steph has plenty of finals appearances too, though.
No, but hold on. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it to you again. The day Klay Thompson got hurt, Steph Curry couldn't make the playoffs, and the nigga was playing at the MVP level, and he had other Hall of Famers on his team. That's what kills me, bro. And then what was happening this year, Jalen? They were getting smoked before Steph Curry got hurt. The whole team, they was all healthy. Mm-hmm. As soon as he got hurt, the team went on a run and got the season back together.
But Tiki, do you have Murray over Curry?
No, hell no, I ain't got Murray over Curry right now.
But then you see how you can't have Murray over.
I just want to make sure.
Because styles make fights. It's different. Right. You may have Terrence Crawford over Earl Spence, but you may not have. You may not have Terrence Crawford over Canelo Alvarez. Styles make fights.
That's true. That is true. I just wanted to make sure that we.
So I'm just saying, I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it like that.
This guy over this guy. You have to have this guy over this guy. It doesn't technically work like that.
Yeah,
Ron, I'm saying, with all due respect, if we looking at this thing, we being honest about this shit, bro. Steph Curry, when he came in the league, he wasn't the man for four years. He didn't start playing like that. The first 3 years, he definitely wasn't the man on the team. D Rose came in the league and was the man from day one. These are the facts. And then you got dudes like Chitchat that'll tell you that if Steph went to any other team, he wouldn't have never been Steph. So that means he was a product of that system he was in. He just told you if Steph went to he just said if Steph would have got drafted to the Knicks, you would have never heard of Steph Curry the way you talking about him today. These are facts.
Hey, Ron, I do understand.
You my son, Young Africa, you my son already beat you, dog. Sit down. You done. You can't even talk.
I do understand, you know what I'm saying, styles make fights. I do understand that. I just don't understand that.
What is Steph Curry? Bob, let me ask you a question. Real quick. What is Steph Curry if he gets drafted to the Knicks? What is Steph Curry's career right now?
Well, look, I understand that styles make fights, but in this particular triangle, I can't see it. I think there's a clear 1-2.
Yeah. I get this triangle for sure.
I get what you're trying to say.
This triangle isn't the one for the style make.
I'm sorry, man. I'm a dude that look at the situations, bro. And I look at situations that everybody was in, man. And I think it's only right that you look at situations people was in. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's like when we call people losers, but they never had the same amount of talent that the other dudes that stacking the decks had. This is why Dr. J's out here cooking these niggas. You see KD ain't saying that he back down to that one. Yeah. Because of the simple fact that now we letting dudes team up, do all this other shit, get the best players on their team, call themselves great, and then we praising them like they great like that. When the dudes who didn't do that, they just played with the hand they was dealt. You understand what I'm saying? We downplay him, but they don't go get it done. Dirk won a championship leading his own team. They downplay him. These niggas are coming here and tell you KD is better than Dirk. But KD couldn't do what Dirk did any day of the week.
Yeah.
Look, situations matter, but I think Steph, you still put him on the Knicks. Hold on,
Ron. Do you have KD over Dirk, Jalen?
Do I have Kevin Durant over Dirk Nowitzki's player? Yes. That's
the problem with basketball right there. You would have a dude. You would have a dude that jump from limb to limb like Jocelyn Hernandez. Come on, Stevie J. Jocelyn Hernandez. You would have a dude that jump from limb to limb like KD do. and you would give him extra credit for having to jump the teams. He's supposed to be so great. He was up 3-1 and couldn't close out Steph Curry and got smoked. He had to go jump to join him to win. Then he jumped from other teams to other teams to other teams because he still can't win. Then he gets carried by Devin Booker because he still can't do it. But you'll sit up here and put him over Dirk Nowitzki, a dude who stayed 10 toes down, went to 2 NBA Finals, lost, came back, and beat a super team, beat KD, beat Kobe Bryant, and beat all these dudes, and also got the accolades and the stats to prove it, the MVPs and all that other stuff, and you still won't praise him. Man, you a joke.
I respect Dirk Nowitzki, what he did, staying with one organization, and I'm not one to defend Kevin Durant jumping from organization to win, but his game, I think, is just he's a better basketball player than Dirk Nowitzki.
All right, fellas, I got to run these super chats down, though. Devon Anderson just became a member. Appreciate you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the party. Julius Irvin, and not Dr. J, said Curry, after the injury in 2011 without Clay, went 19-4 to finish the season. Next season, 18-2 to start without Clay. Best record in the NBA when Clay returned.
Curry without Clay is still Curry.
Angie Carr said, Ticket, how you pick Murray but not Steph? No Cat Prince said so.
That stat you read was a lie. That stat you read was a lie about Steph Curry. They was getting the hell beat out of him that season. He's a liar. He can kiss my ass. He's a liar. Period. Steph Curry and them started out that season. They were losing by 60. They lost to the Bucks. They would go look it up. They lost. It was down by the Bucks by 50 at the half. Y'all don't remember that game, Jalen? You don't remember that game?
I remember they got smoked by like 50 something. Yeah, did a reset.
At the halftime, they was getting and Curry was over there laughing, man. Cut it out, man. Wait.
It was bad.
No Cat Prince said so. 73-9. Steph Curry doesn't exist.
That season does exist.
Angie Carr also said, Ticket, who had a better unit, Murray or Rose?
Murray had a better unit.
Angie Carr chimed in and said, Luka plays old era. Rose was scoring contested. Strange Cool Guy said, can't make that Kyrie argument. Jokic and KD aren't the same offensively. Angie Carr said, take Jokic away where you have Murray.
I do think it would be nice to see. I don't wish injury on anyone, but if we saw in the regular season a sample size of 30 or 40 games in a row of Murray without Jokic, we'd have a better idea of who Jamal Murray really is.
Devin Mabry became a member. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you for coming through. Like the video if you haven't, Devin. Thickest Pilot 9 said, I'm just a big body fella that loves sports. See, I told y'all. He's just a big body pilot.
There it is.
Man, you hurt my feelings. I thought you was a thick ass chick.
Julius Irvin with another super chat said, Warriors were a horrible team when Steph came. The moment he stayed healthy, they immediately started winning. What would Clay and Draymond be without him? So Steph made Clay and Draymond, not Clay and Draymond made. Gotcha.
Steph would have made Joakim Noah similar aspect to Draymond Green. Joakim Noah would have been a Hall of Famer if he played with Steph Curry, just like Draymond Green.
Uncle Ruckus said, if Jordan never existed, which player or team do you think dominates the 90s?
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, Hakeem would be the best player. Team would have dominated them. And the Jazz would have got a couple. Houston would have got a couple. The Knicks get one.
Y'all can hear this? Yeah. John Stockton.
Well, this the thing. If you look at it though, it really wouldn't have been dominated by any team in particular. Maybe a player that would have been the best player of the time. But if you look at it, like all the teams he played in those 6 championships, what was it? Was the Jazz, the
Lakers,
the
first.
Supersonics, the Jazz, the Supersonics, the Suns, the Trailblazers, and then the Lakers. Yeah. So that's 5 different teams off in the West. So that shows right there nobody would really be dominating. And then on the East, you got to think of the teams that he was playing. With the Knicks, the Knicks, the Pacers, those teams and whatnot. Even the Cavaliers earlier on. So it would have been a good, healthy mix of basketball.
Divine Photo said, which NBA player could Ticket and Ox cook 1-on-1?
Let him know.
That nigga Ox give Draymond Green 30.
Brandon Lee just became a member. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the chat. Like the video if you haven't, Brandon. Appreciate you for coming through. T Street said, why was everybody loud about Ja but quiet about Amir Coffey? Memphis versus everybody.
I mean, Ja Morant was one of the faces of the league, while Amir Coffey is a rotation player at best when you have a bigger platform and a bigger name.
Amir Coffey just did some dumb shit.
I'm assuming, yeah, but I just think comparing a guy who's one of the faces of the league versus a rotation player, you're going to be treated different and handled different. Whether that's fair or not, that's up to you. But just the reality of the situation when you're a bigger name and a bigger face.
Yeah. Ja Morant's like literally in a fishbowl.
L Dog 661 said, Ticket, don't get caught up like Dub did with Tim.
Oh, Dub made a friend named Timothy.
Ruger Red said, Cameron and Mace, it is what it is. Best out.
Bro, I'll slap you for that shit happening like that, bro.
Winner with the super chat said, but Ticket, they had Jimmy who helped Embiid. ASAP Henny said, what players do you guys think are overhyped? We talked about that one, but appreciate you, ASAP.
Luka.
Double super chat love.
Victor.
And yeah, fellas, that's it. If you haven't become a member, click the link at the top of the chat. Go ahead and become a member on the channel. That way you could type in the chat whenever you want to. All right, fellas, same time tomorrow. Y'all know what the drill is. We will be here and we will have an elite episode. What y'all got to say on the way out?
Don't drink and drive.
Margaret Robbie is a beautiful
Bob.
woman. She is not mid. All these clowns calling Margaret Robbie mid. You stupid. Y'all
Hey,
stupid.
Bob,
Stop it.
Was good.
watch out for the big girls. Watch out for the big girl. Watch out.